Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PUDcast with Jason and Mike. I'm Jason.
I'm Mike.
And we're coming to you from the Pud Cave located here at Game Swap in beautiful downtown Lincoln in the great state of North Carolina. Mike, what is going on today, brother?
Dude, it is Saturday, the first day of fall.
It really feels like fall this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the mornings.
Yeah. The evenings, I think they kind of,
About noontime, it's a whole different story.
gets a little bipolar, man. I think Mother Nature's suffering. She needs some damn whatever they give people bipolar.
Bipolar pills.
Bills, yeah, man. Here you go, Mother Nature. Eat that shit. Eat it. Y'all, we in a mood today, guys.
After this week?
We both had some pretty wild weeks, man. Not in a good way either. Just, we made it. We got one to look forward to coming up.
We're
here. It's early.
I know you've had a hell of a week. I've had a hell of a week.
We have both had less than stellar weeks. But you know what? We're going to take it out on you puds today. Motherfuckers! But, no, we love you guys. We love you. We appreciate y'all listening. All 10 of y'all, we appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. No, retail, man. Retail this week is... You get characters.
Well, you had a hell of a character this week, didn't you, Mike?
Oh, my God.
Why don't you tell the puds a little bit about this guy? Well, Mike,
Scooter, the scooter guy?
Scooter the scooter. Scoot the scooter.
Oh, my God.
Sounds more like Scoot the fucking meth head.
Oh, jeez, this guy. He, just brings in just a different array of stuff. Just loose disc stuff I don't even deal with mostly.
Wasn't it a foot massager? One of the
He brought in a fucking foot massager.
That didn't even have hot water.
No,
Motherfucker might as well have had a bucket.
tries to pawn that off. He tries to pawn it off on the guys sitting out in front of the coffee shop next door. And he pulls this fucking thing. I don't know if it's something about scooters, guys on scooters, people with scooters, that just think they just have a whole different set of rules.
Oh, well, I think there's a lot of people out there that think they have a lot of different sets of rules. But the scooter crowd.
The scooter crowd. And I'm not saying anything. You got a scooter, and you do it right, man. And
scooter responsibly.
If you scoot responsibly and obey the laws of the scooter and the regular highway traffic.
I just wish they'd make them motherfuckers go, at a decent speed.
I don't care if it goes. I don't think it needs to go any faster than what it is.
You may be right.
I
bro.
mean,
they still piss me the hell off, though, man. I'm like, we always call them liquor sickles, because when you lose your license, you'd get a fucking moped. Well, that motherfucker got busted, DUI.
And I can dig it, if you can't afford a car.
It's cool.
It's
cool.
Cars are freaking ridiculous.
Amen. And you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But we're not judging, is what we're saying.
No, but for the most part, there is a
subset.
I would say there's that stereotype that tends to be true.
Sometimes, man, unfortunately, in certain situations and certain subsets of culture, like in the scooter community, sometimes these stereotypes, unfortunately, have a little bit of truth to them. At least for the scooters out there. Scoot the scooters.
That is a great PC explanation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Man, goddamn, I worked on that.
So
I'm over struggling.
So these jackasses
these
with
fucking
scooters,
assholes.
these jackasses with scooters. This jackass, all right. He doesn't find a regular parking spot. No, he takes it up on the sidewalk.
Well, that's because it's his rules. Nobody else can do it. That motherfucker can. Tell me he can't.
There are signs around that says you can't have a bike.
Right. Well, it's not a bike.
A skateboard.
Okay.
Even rollerblades.
Right.
I don't know who the hell's rollerblading anymore.
I've not seen a rollerblade since 1998.
Since the inline craze, went out.
Thankfully.
No. But yeah, unfortunately, there's nowhere on that sign that says, "Hey, don't take your scooters on the sidewalk."
Well, goddamn, I guess it's cool.
I guess it's all right.
It's like the whole no shirt, no shoes, and motherfucker walks in with no pants.
So I'll park this scooter right in front of the big window here in the store.
I'm just glad you didn't put it through the fucking window, man.
So he's carrying this foot massager on the front. He's got all his, various other stuff in the back, and in the hideaway.
Yeah, right.
On the back.
Saddlebags, if you will.
Oh my God. And he just comes in like a ball of lightning. And, you know, just, I gotta sell this. I'm heading to.
Sped up.
I couldn't tell if he was heading to Asheville or Nashville.
Probably Asheville, man. I mean, it could be. Who knows?
Brother's got a long way to go on a scooter.
Bro, especially Nashville.
Now, have you seen these things? Yeah, I know you have. They piss you off. Could you imagine this thing going up the mountain?
Up fucking 40. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Get a fucking 18-wheeler behind that motherfucker. Now, imagine him on the way down, though. He'd be a little bit better on the way down, you know. But literally putting up that son of a bitch. Poop, poop, poop. Oh, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hope he makes it. I hope he does,
If it
man.
makes it.
I just hope I hope he made it, man. I mean, I'm figuring he's probably about right outside of Hickory by now.
You know that those things are made for the long-duration trip.
Well, now, man, don't ever underestimate a meth head. Because, my God, if anybody can get that son of a bitch up a mountain, it will be a meth head. Say what you will about meth heads. You know, I don't condone it, obviously, but sometimes the motherfuckers can make the impossible possible.
Yeah.
I mean, don't underestimate them. Well, you know, man, I think I told you this story. I'll tell it for the Puds. Me and a good friend of ours, Rob Monday, or Rob McGallagher. I always call him Rob Monday. He'll always be Rob Monday to me. Mm-hmm. Good guy, man. One of the best friends I've got. One of the first times we got back kind of in touch, you know, I went and picked him up. We came down here to Lincoln to hang out with you guys, and I think there was something, the wrestling show was going on, you know, and, well, man, the first place we stopped is this little Costa Rican place beside Tacos and Tequila here in Lincoln. It's called Arcadia.
Yeah.
Wonderful food. By the way, people, if you're out there and you want a new, and they ain't paying me for this, I might send her ass a bill.
Hey.
I just gave y'all a little plug here.
You would like to chip in for us to put you over.
You know, we could always use an extra mic cable, people. I'm just saying, but no, this place is. But no, this place is amazing. It's Costa Rican food. It's called Arcadia. But anyway, me and Robbie go in here, and we eat, you know, and everything. No, I'm sorry, man. It was before we even made it in the building, because Robbie's like, Jesus, man, I've been in Lincoln for 15 minutes. And then this happens. You know what I'm talking about. Man, this guy comes power walking. He catches eyes with me over at the laundry. Now, people who may not be familiar, I'd say it's a good, I don't know, man, 50, 60 yards out. I'd say maybe about half of a football field, give or take. You know. And, man, this guy catches eyes with me and Rob, and he straight power walks. Mm-hmm. And, I mean,
he sees the marks.
Oh, the marks, bro, are in goddamn session. And he walks up, and this guy is beat red. He a little bit on the redneck side. You can tell it. He is talking 100 miles an hour.
Uh-huh.
He had to come down and beat the hell out of his daughter's boyfriend, because he beat her. So he broke his motherfucking jaw, man, as they put it to me.
Right.
And, I mean, he's telling me all this shit, and he needs to get $20 to get back to Gastonia because he's out of gas. And he's like, yeah, I beat the hell out of this motherfucker. And he's like, man, buy something off the back of my truck. And I'm like, at this point, bro, I was like, okay. You know, and I'm like, well, maybe there's a deal, you know. This guy had every as-seen on TV product in the back of his truck, man. I'm talking, I ended up buying one of them hoses, one of them flat hoses that you could store really good. It was the first thing I could grab, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I just grabbed the first item. But as he's kind of leaving, you know, and I give him the money. I just wanted to get him the hell out of there. But, dude, this guy had like a water filter back there, man. He had, like I said, all the as-seen on TV products. And they're all still in the plastic.
Yeah, Snuggie.
He might have, man. He may have. If he did, I'm going to be really mad I didn't get that.
Yeah.
But I got the hose. It was the first thing, because, man, it's like me and Robertson, like, dude, I just want this guy. I had the money. I did. I was okay at the time. I was like, here, dude. Get back to Gastonia. You whipped your daughter's boyfriend's ass, which he went into much detail over that. But, yeah, in other words, people say off meth. I mean, if the Puds...
I mean, you know...
the Puds moral of the day, just say no to meth. I mean, smoke a joint. That's cool. Yeah. Drink some beer. That's cool. I mean, just stay away from the meth.
I think...
Unless you got good deals. Unless you got some good shit to sell, you know.
That would bring up a whole new episode of, you know, would this meth problem be around if marijuana was legalized?
Well, first of all, let's call it by its proper name, Mike Payne. It's cannabis.
Okay.
Marijuana is actually steeped in the racist aspect of its being outlawed. It's prohibition.
This is why we need an episode on this.
Oh, we will have an
Because
episode
it goes
on this.
way deeper than
Oh,
what
yeah.
you would ever think.
If we do an episode on that, I may be in a different state of mind doing that episode. Well, you know how I feel about it.
Yes.
I mean, I obviously, I think it's not just because I do partake. I'd admit it. I don't care. I mean, it's
Right.
not like it's not the fucking 50s anymore.
No.
I mean, I admit it. I mean, but to me, it's more of a common sense thing at this point. It's like, come on, people. We're already seeing it in a quarter of the country. Half as far as medical goes.
Right.
It's really time to just get our heads out of our collective asses and start having some common sense, man. Once again, people will look at me and be like, well, you just say that because you like to smoke. And there's truth in that, obviously. But there is some truth. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have a bias.
Right.
But then again, Mike,
sure.
you don't.
I don't.
I
have.
You have.
I have.
Man, I could probably count on a hand, maybe two. And we've always hung out. And I mean, really, man, you've not smoked. You had a phase at one time.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I remember we did have
for
a phase.
sure. Yeah.
But, man.
There's definitely more than a hand.
Oh, well, you're right.
But yeah. But I don't. And
No.
I haven't in probably, I don't know. Oh, my God.
20 years?
No.
Been a little bit more
God
recent.
damn, I'm not that old.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, 10?
I would say, wow, let's see, 12, 15 years.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
and there you go. And you
Yeah.
still understand. And you even have that experience, so you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, who's ever smoked a joint and like, oh my God, now I gotta go rob a liquor store?
Right.
I mean, who's smoked a joint and got in a fight?
Yeah.
Hell, man, once again.
I gotta, smoke a joint and I gotta play Tetris.
And eat.
Or I gotta play, I gotta play something.
I play how many Oreos can I
Yeah.
stuff in my mouth at
Yeah.
one time? that's my biggest issue with the thing, man.
I gotta play this Black Sabbath vinyl.
Yes,
I gotta.
Yes, I gotta play side one of the
Yeah.
debut album, which is a tremendous album.
I gotta paint this wall.
Yes, actually, I don't know, man. That takes a little bit. One thing I'll say.
No, I used. Oh no.
Would you go?
Oh God, yeah.
See, I get sorry,
yeah,
man.
no,
And I love playing my music high now.
Yeah.
Now I love playing my bass, but man, as far as doing like labor,
Oh no. Oh, sir. No, that was some of my funnest times. Were just hitting that game. And to me, it's weird because painting is that relaxing,
yes,
therapeutic. It's just
And
it goes hand in hand with me.
Yeah, and man, like, and it really depends on the mood, the strain as well. There's different strains now, so obviously there's some that do put you on the couch, and there's others that can give you a little bit of a boost. But the one thing I've always said about using, and I know this episode isn't just about let's put over cannabis, for the whole show. But for me, man, as a person who tries to play music, I very seldom call myself a musician, and if I do, I say it with kind of quotes around it. But, it does open up the creativity. When I was writing in the wrestling show, man, I never went to a booking or a writing meeting sober. Never.
Right.
Never.
Right.
I felt it was detrimental to the product.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, we had good stuff. Now, obviously, I had partners and everything. But, man, I did contribute. And
Yeah.
I contribute high as a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Every time, man. I mean, I'd put that son of a bitch out in the parking lot.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Go in and help create some pretty good shit.
That's right.
I mean, I like to think. And,
Yeah.
and once again, man, you talk about, like, especially when you compare it to alcohol, they condone, endorse, and encourage drug of choice in society. You can't even start comparing, man.
Right.
I mean, you can't even put those two side by side.
Well, see, now that's where we're flip side opposites, because you do not drink.
I haven't had a drink in almost 2 years now. It'd be, in fact, brother, damn, 6 days.
Wow.
6 days, it'll be 2 years on the dot, man. September 28th of 2 years ago was the last time I had a
Right.
drink, and that was one beer. And I drank it with Jacob Stone, man,
Hey.
Josh Ward.
There you go.
That's the best last beer I could have was with that man right there, brother. That was a good capstone to it. I'm like, hey, man, I'm gonna drink my last beer with that man because I love Josh Ward to death, man.
Yeah.
He's getting a shout out this week. I don't think we've given J Dub a shout out, man, but Josh is good people.
Oh yeah.
And I'm proud to say my last beer was with Josh Ward.
Right.
And I'm just proud to say it was my last beer too. On top of that.
But I do nowhere near what I did when I was younger.
Oh shit, man, bro.
And that was, and that was a problem.
Well, we had fun.
Well, yeah, we had
had
fun. But yeah,
A lot of fun.
back then it was a problem.
Yeah, me and you both. We were kind of on that same level.
It was all the time. Go.
Every night, bro. We
Yeah.
partied every night.
Yeah.
I mean, we really did.
But now I do it more to just relax.
Just take the edge off, man.
Just that relax at the end of the day.
Yes.
Boom.
I'm kind of like that with the cannabis. It's something because I too have had problems with it. And even today, man, I have to discipline myself. Let's go ahead and put something on the table as far as cannabis goes right now. It's not the perfect quote unquote drug. I don't even like calling it a drug, but it's not the perfect substance. It does have drawbacks, man. There are side effects. It's the best way, in my opinion, to live is to live sober. But Jesus Christ, who wants to do that? I mean, that's how I look at it, man. It's like I don't want to do that.
You got all your vices, though.
Everybody has a vice.
You look at caffeine, you look at nicotine,
food,
sex. Yeah.
I mean, working out, man. There's people out there who are addicted to working out too much, which actually can break your body down.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it does that. That's one thing because I'll see and
supplements.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And I don't consider myself a pothead. I consider myself a cannabis enthusiast.
Right.
Because a pothead will be like, oh no, man, it cures cancer. It doesn't have any side effects. It's all good. No, man, it can demotivate you. It can make you sorry as shit. It cannot cure cancer.
Right.
I guess, man. I'm saying that as more of a, I guess it's.
But it's. And to me, it's such a better alternative than the medical or the pharmacy.
The pharmaceutical, the drugs.
Pharmaceutical pills, the drugs,
that's
what have it.
And I'm not calling nobody out. Man, in fact, on the podcast, I don't want to call anybody out, but I do want to give an example. I have a friend, or some friends, and they don't use, they don't use cannabis. Couple of them, will take pills for certain things, anxiety, depression, things of this nature. That's what I use my cannabis for, man. I use it to help take that edge off. It does make me turn my brain off just long enough to where I'm not fucking banging my head against the wall all the time. It helps me. Without a doubt, it will help me sleep. Now, I'll say the side effects, it's not perfect. It will cure insomnia. That is 100%.
Right.
But, some people will judge and look down. Oh my God, why are you doing that? It's because it's illegal, and I understand that's really, and it's the years of propaganda and the years of indoctrination. But then, they have no problem not only taking all these truly just altering drugs, man, that dig deep. Yeah. I mean, this stuff digs in deep, man. It rewires you.
Yeah.
And they have no problem not only doing it themselves, but to tell other people to do that. And I'm like, or you can just smoke a fucking joint.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's just my opinion,
I've never been into the pills or anything for any reason for it. The farthest I think I've gotten is goody powders. Here's the thing with pills. I hate taking pills of any kind.
Right.
Any kind. Aspirin, gel caps, whatever. Because I have a terrible gag reflex. I cannot swallow a pill.
Right.
I just can't.
It's just, it sucks.
And that's why I like goodies, because they're in powder form and it goes straight down, bloom, right.
And they knock that son of a bitch out too, bro. Do. I had a little goody powder problem.
Yeah, well, I did too at one point.
I've wondered, because I have another friend, Katie Putnam. We're going to give her a shout out. I still don't think she's listened to us yet. God damn it. So maybe this one will get her to listen.
Yeah.
But me and her both, and I know you as well, but me and her have both especially had a goody powder problem. She ended up in the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, with some ulcers and stuff. I mean, it actually finally put her in the hospital.
Wow.
And we were talking, I'm like, why? Why are we addicted? Why do we keep taking these things?
Yeah.
Now, I've actually chilled out on them, man. I took one with you the other day,
Yeah.
But I mean, brother, I could go through a 50-pack in a week. I mean, no problem.
That's
big. Just popping, man, 4 or 5 a day.
All right. I never got up that high.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I would do like the 2 a day. Probably usually 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. But yeah, I mean, it's another one of those things. It's one of those boosts, it's because it's got the caffeine in it.
And the aspirin.
Yeah.
That aspirin thins your blood, man, so it gets that little boost. And it's not as much caffeine as you think. I looked at it's about a third of a cup of coffee, but it's concentrated.
Yeah.
And it thins that blood, and bro, it hits you. And I feel it, man. When I take a goodie, I get that like, ooh, okay. You know? And it's anti-inflammatory, so if you do have aches and pains, it does help knock them out. But there is something about those things, and I think it's the ritual of taking a goodie. I think a lot of quote-unquote addiction can maybe even be broken down in a ritual.
Yeah.
Because it's not like popping a pill, man. You take it out. Like I would always keep mine in my wallet. Yeah. So I'd have this big production. I pull my wallet out. I came in a certain place. I'd pull it out. I'd slam it on the table. I mean, really, I did. I went through this every time I would take one. You've seen it a million times, brother. Then I'd open it up, and then I wouldn't use water because I wanted to be the cool dog.
Oh, no.
And so I could dry tooth it, as they used to call it back in the day. And,
cannot.
And brother, you talk about really fucking your stomach up. You're not using anything to cut it. I mean, you're just.
No, I'm not that brave.
I'm just glad I haven't wound up in the hospital yet.
No, no.
Well, Mike, brother, you want to keep talking about drugs, or do you want to?
Hey, man. Hey, we'll go whatever.
I tell you, man,
it's Saturday.
It is Saturday, brother. I mean, goddamn party, party time on Saturday morning. I mean, hell, man, I'm usually fucked up as hell by 8:30 on a Saturday morning.
I know we're doing these whole Saturday things now. The reason we're doing this one is because my daughter, my beautiful daughter's birthday is tomorrow.
That's right, little Boogie.
We're not doing it the podcast on a Sunday where we usually do it. I think we're more chilled out on Sundays.
So yeah, we'll get back on a regular. We'll get back. I think that was this Lord's Day.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely get back on schedule next week. And I think, man, we come in earlier on Saturday. You opened the store earlier, so, that's probably got a little bit to do with it, too, man. I'm freshly caffeinated,
Yeah.
Usually by the time I get here on Sunday, I've already kind of leveled out.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm buzzing like a motherfucker right now.
Well, we'll switch it up every now and again. We'll put the chill.
Yeah.
The chill episode in, then we'll just put the full-blown boom.
The Saturday morning fuck y'all episode.
Saturday morning rants.
Fuck all y'all. Except y'all that listen, man. We love you. We really, Mike, before we go, let's just say that, man. Thank you guys again. If you're listening, Jeff Blackwell's another one I want to give a shout out to this week, Mike.
Yeah.
Sweet Feathery Jesus is his podcast. I've only listened to one episode, I must admit. I've only listened to one. Dude, it's hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
I was loving. They actually had Bane from Batman. I don't want to give too much away. I want people to check it out for themselves. Mm-hmm. But they had Bane from Batman, who is now a life coach. It's hilarious, man. I mean, dude, I'm at work, quote unquote work, because I can listen to a podcast. Yeah. And obviously, I wasn't really working, but man, it was hilarious.
But you were there on time.
Oh boy. Okay, moving on.
See, we got to do this whole spiel about my week. We didn't even talk about yours. We'll put it in that little concentrated form right there.
Yeah. Because with my job, I don't want to put anything out there. I've just admitted to smoking grass and shit, so I'm gonna try to keep my job out of the podcast. Yeah. I don't think anybody at my job listens anyway, and if there are, they're probably
high.
Yeah. They probably don't give a shit. So, but brother, and once again, I would also like to wish little Boogie, your daughter, a happy birthday a day early too, man.
8 years old, man. Yeah.
How old again?
4.
God almighty, man.
I know,
what
dude.
the hell? No, she can't be that old, brother. I mean, I just went to the hospital to see her.
I know.
It can't be 4 years.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, she's growing like a weed too, man.
Dude.
She really is.
Yep.
Y'all doing a hell of a job, brother. I'm just gonna say,
it.
man.
Yeah,
that's little Boogie.
Yeah, trying.
That's all you can do, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, man, so far so good, brother.
Right,
Definitely, man.
Look at her dad. I mean,
well, she got some obstacles.
She's got a lot of obstacles to leap.
She's like, do I want to be a pud when I get older? It's like, don't be a pud, no. Or maybe be a pud, maybe. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, see how it works out.
And Mike, speaking of, what is a pud? Would you tell me what a pud is? Oh my God!
Well, I love to tell you what a pud is.
But why won't you tell me what a pud is, Mike?
Because we are not going to tell you what a pud is until
we get 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and we're 28. We're over a quarter there, bro.
Hey.
We're getting there, man. We were 25 this time last week.
I am grateful for that.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank y'all so much.
And help us spread the word.
Absolutely.
Because man, like I said, there's
just
people
don't like the post. Just don't like the post.
Yeah.
Go ahead, like the videos.
Yeah, subscribe, guys. We wanna make that episode about you. That's going to be the PUD episode, because whatever you want to know, any questions you have,
anything,
man, we're going to answer it, man. If you want to say something, us to say something for you, depending on what it is, we're not going to sit here and it depends on what it is.
It depends on what it is.
It really depends.
I don't know that. Anything's off limits, really.
Not really. No.
I mean,
I mean, within reason. I mean, there are certain things I don't want to say on here, but for the most part, it's going to be about giving back to you guys for supporting us. But we want to get that 100, man. And I also would like to get 10 followers on Twitter, because right now we're at 9. I want to get double digits, y'all. So not only subscribe on YouTube, but hop on over to Twitter. I mean, follow us. help us get the word out. And man, like I said, in return, we want to do an episode on y'all, on the PUDs.
And I'm guilty of the Twitter. I'm not the best Twitter.
Oh,
I'm not the best twit.
No. Are you a twit?
A twit or twat? I guess I'd be a twit.
Twatter?
Yeah.
Hell, I wonder if there is a twatter.
It could be.
Hell, I hope so.
Would that be like the male-female breakdown of that? Or do we have to chop it up into?
We may have to chop it up
into genders.
Yeah, I think there's up to 150 now. I think.
I guess you'd have to go by the vowels, like the twatter,
the Twitter, the tweaker. Well, we already seen the tweaker this week.
The Twitter, the twatter. Is that right?
Yeah.
Twat.
Twa.
The twa.
Hey, the twa. The twa. Yes.
The twooter.
The twooter. Yes. I don't know where to go from there.
And sometimes why?
Yes.
The twiter.
The twiter. Twy not. Twy not. Well, Mike, bro, we've been rambling for about a half hour.
This is getting ridiculous.
Speaking of ridiculous, let's recap on last week.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about Joey Ryan again.
Oh shit! God damn it!
No, it's something I had to put in there because I'm we're talking about what they call the ghost penises.
Okay.
Okay. The blow up penises.
Oh, okay. Right.
If you didn't listen, check out last episodes on that. We did a whole thing on just that.
There's a lot of dick talk.
Yeah. But the druid penises that came out, they had a name.
Well, and that was ghost dicks or ghost?
No.
What is it?
The fluids.
Oh, fucking A, man. Really?
The fluids.
God damn it. I don't know what to say to that.
That is fantastic.
Horrible. What? God damn it. It's like I said last week, Mike.
You can't. All right. Well, you can write it.
It's fun. I mean, it is a fun gimmick.
Oh my god!
It is fun.
Everything just fits together
for what it is. Well, actually, they don't fit together at all.
It's a big joke.
It is a big joke.
It is.
And like I said last week, man, maybe it's not necessarily my thing, more of a traditionalist, but I will say it is a fun gimmick, and it's over. Hey, man, it's fucking over, dude.
The only thing I'm ever mad about this gimmick is I never came up with it.
You didn't think of
myself.
it. It's like, man, now that would have set Lincoln over the edge back about 10, 20 years ago, bro. They have dicks in their shows.
Right.
Well, I know we're assholes, but I won't call us dicks. But yeah. Well, man, speaking of last week's episode, I want to go on record because I was giving Kevin Owens a lot of shit last week. I went up and I looked some stuff up, man, because I'm like, I'm talking a little bit out of my ass here. Uh-huh. The first thing I want to say, it was Ryback, who had made that original comment about him not working out and how he felt he should.
Okay.
And even Ryback said in his interview that he wasn't sure. So I went back and I'm like, but not only you, but also Dustin Fowler, another shout out to Big D, Double D. He's like, man, you should go back and check some stuff out. So I did. I was like, let me just check out some clips. Man, I didn't watch a whole lot of full matches, but I would kind of cut them up. Okay. And I've seen him on Raw before, and I've seen him on SmackDown off and on. Once again, very limited. Yeah, man, the motherfucker can work his ass off.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that I respect any professional wrestler, especially at that level, on the road that they're on, and the schedule they keep, and the shows they perform. So I did want to say that, man, I was coming really down hard on a professional who is doing what I couldn't have done. And sure as hell couldn't do now. So I want to apologize for me being kind of a dick. I still think the man could take better care of his body. I really do. Honest to God, man, I think at that level, with so much competition, that you owe it to yourself, and it's a respect thing to those guys as well, to stay in the utmost best shape you can. Because like somebody sent on a board about it, because I was trying to find his workout. Man, he may work out and he may be good, but his diet's got to be shit. And so I just wanted to say that, man. But I wanted to clarify that, because it was wrong to me, because I'm listening back at myself and I'm like, damn, man, I'm really being a dick about this, unfairly being a dick. And I'll say one more thing, man. I saw him from his Ring of Honor days to now. He has slimmed down, man, and he has.
For sure.
He's definitely squared up. So I just want to say, man, I don't want to take anything from his work rate, because he is good, man. I went back and I really did start looking at some stuff. I'm like, oh shit, man, this.
Especially that run with Cena.
Yeah, right.
The run with Cena, and it brought out a lot of good stuff in Cena.
Right. Now I didn't catch that stuff, man. I was watching more of his Ring of Honor stuff, but Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so I just want to put that out there to you. You know, a pud, man, when I pud up too much, I'll admit it. And just want to say that, man, you know, but I still think, you know,
Yeah.
he's a little, you know, probably could do a little bit better on that, but whatever.
I just think it adds to his character, honestly. Yeah, and it differentiates him from everybody else.
Now that I'll give
Especially
you. I'll
like,
give you that. Yes,
well,
absolutely.
you look at a guy like Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but you know, I still consider them to be, to me, man. And I know we got to go. I know we got to get on point at some point.
Yeah.
But I'll say this much, man. Like I said, I think he's a good worker, but I think he's, and I mean, you know, it's obviously my opinion, but I think he's a little bit too vanilla to have his weight put over anything with him. Where Samoa Joe's not a vanilla. You know, Abby wasn't, obviously. Dusty wasn't, you know, going back. But, you know, even speaking of the old guys who had those body types, brother, we've already said, man, that day's gone. You know, we are in a new era, you know, and I think that should include that as well to a certain degree. Bray Wyatt, it works, man. He's not vanilla. It sets him off. To me, man, oh, bro, and I'm really probably going to piss some people off right here. I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but to me, Kevin Owens sometimes looks like the guy on every independent flyer that you see. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right.
But still, respect to the man for what he
enough.
does, for what he does for the fans, and just for being where he's at, man. You know, I mean, who the hell am I to talk about that? You know what I'm saying? But you are in the spotlight. When you're in the spotlight, you do get opinions. You do have people say things, and that's just my opinion. But I did want to scale it back a little bit.
Okay.
And then I said he just looks like every guy on the independent show. So, yeah, man, let's go ahead.
That'll be a P.O. Box.
And okay, man. Let's move on before I piss our 5 listeners off. So what we doing today, brother? Today's a special day.
Yeah.
I
It's a
thought
very
we
special day.
would take today.
Since we're kind of in between stuff, and we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Oh yeah.
At the end of September and into
October could be pretty big. Man.
Yeah. We got a lot of big stuff coming up. A lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take this day to kind of, well, I guess, rant for the most part.
Bitch, I guess, yeah.
And you just
Well,
kind
not
of,
bitch, but race hell, yeah.
yeah, and just kind of take and try something new, like we did with the What If series,
Yes, sir.
stuff like that, and that would be like this day in wrestling history.
Right. And today in wrestling history, brother, was fucking huge,
It was
man.
big.
September 22nd.
Yeah.
A lot went on in wrestling. And I'm talking going back to like, I don't know,
Well, like 38 years ago.
yeah, 38 years.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm looking at my notes. Yes, the
Yeah.
first thing that I have written down here is 38 years. And bro, do you know what that was?
That was the what they had tried to do with the two world champions.
Now you talk about WWF
Yes.
and the NWA at this
Yes.
time. Right.
With WWF champion Bob Backlund
Right.
meeting NWA world champion Harley Race.
Right.
In a title for title unification
yes, sir.
match.
Right.
At that time, that was just
Hey,
kind of
man, unheard of.
Well,
Well,
they were working together, definitely, but I probably should say it was unheard of in the any time after that.
Gotcha.
Because this is still
what,
Vince
7?
Senior,
Are you correct? Right.
and he still had that working relationship with the NWA.
Right.
Although he was off on his own to himself. But yeah, he still had that working relationship.
Right.
And this was big, man. This was world title versus world title unification.
That's huge,
Yeah.
brother. I mean, and especially by like our standards as we were growing up, and even on up into obviously Attitude Era, up until there was only one left.
Yeah.
These promotions did not cross paths at all, because when I started getting into wrestling, that era had, in other words, the Vince Jr. era had already begun.
Right.
And with that, it affected all the other territories.
Yeah.
Now, of course, man, you did have, like, I believe it was World Class and AWA, and then they tried to do some, but that was out of desperation, man. That wasn't a promotion or a promotional thing. That was like, oh my God, we're about to get killed here. We need to combine forces.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, here, let's put on a show.
Yeah, exactly. But this is in New York.
Right. Madison Square Garden, correct?
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And they actually go to a double disqualification.
That's right. That's right.
No.
I think
that's
Backlund
right.
won.
Backlin won by
by
disqualification, and
right.
the title could not change hands
Right.
on disqualification.
Yeah, they put Backlund over in New York.
So that was their out for that.
Right, and it's pretty cool booking,
Oh,
especially
for sure.
man, you know, given the personalities involved in that match.
Oh
man.
my gosh.
You know,
Backlund. What did you think about Backlund as a world champion?
well, you know, obviously it was before my time as a fan, but I did obviously go back and watch some stuff. You know, he's the one that brought out Hulk. You
Right.
know, originally against the Samoans.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you the one thing I always appreciated about Backlund. Once again, I thought the farm boy gimmick was cool for what it was. You know, really, I don't know if I would have been. If I was older and into wrestling at the time, I don't know. In other words, if I was an NWA fan, for instance,
Right.
I don't know if Backlund would have done it for me per se. But man, one thing I'll say about Backlund is he was the real deal as far as athletics.
Oh
go.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, what is it that he did? Was it like so many stair steps throughout like an entire show? It was some unbelievable
Yeah.
demonstration of cardio and strength and conditioning.
He was untouched.
Yeah. I mean, he was unsurpassed when it comes to that. He was probably one of the most athletic champions, like pure athletic champions, especially in that era.
Yeah.
Now, as far as Backlund into more modern times when he was doing the president thing, you know, obviously, you know, and I say modern, I mean more 80s, 90s.
Crazy old Backlund.
Yes, yeah, I loved that. I was a huge mark for that gimmick. You know, he come out with a little bow tie, he's running for president, he put you in the chicken wing.
Yeah, man.
I thought that was great. And like I said, as a champion, as I've seen Backlund, it was through like research and through going back into the archives. And I did appreciate him. Definitely respected him. And like I said, those feats of conditioning and athletics that he would go, man, it's just phenomenal.
Did it seem like, okay, so when he was champion in that early 80s run, then later on, was it late 80s, early 90s, he came back?
Yeah.
Did it seem like he had just aged like 30 years?
Yeah, it did.
All of a sudden?
Yeah, because
he was this baby face.
He was like, he looked like a kid.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he really looked, he just got off of football practice.
Right.
When he had the championship.
Yeah.
And he did, man. He aged a lot, but I'll say
looked
this.
like a young redhead Clark Kent.
I could see that.
You know,
I could see that.
You know,
I could see that.
Just that farm boy from Smallville.
Yes, you know, the old
coming in.
Kansas, you know, but I'll say this, man.
But then it's like he pops back up, and it's like,
Jesus, man, where did you go?
Oh, man.
I mean, it's like he's been through some shit.
Apparently.
But I'll say this, man, from his time that he was in that gimmick to more recent times, because he's been coming back and, you know, popping in, he looks like he hasn't aged a lot since then, though.
Right.
It's almost like he peaked out. Kind of like Vince McMahon, too. I've noticed that with Vince. Vince always looked like he was 60 in his 20s, and when he hit 60, he kind of maintained.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Backlund was kind of the same, man, that once he hit that spurt and kind of aged, he's kind of stayed pretty on that level.
Yeah.
You know, as far as I can see, you know, as far as I can tell.
With Vince, I thought he always looked really young, especially at like WrestleMania 3 where you saw him the most.
Right.
And, you know, even doing those early days of Raw. But it seemed like when he went to the Austin era and the feud,
20 years.
it just like aged him overnight.
20 years, man. I mean,
or maybe it was the war with WCW.
Yeah, it may have been that, you know, or it was that stunner. That stunner just knocked his ass. You know, they was saying we'll knock you in the next week. Maybe he knocked him 2 weeks ahead. Or
speaking of,
that's coming up.
Yeah,
that is coming up.
Yeah,
and in fact, to me, that's probably the quintessential moment. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We still got a little. You know, one I want to talk about, Mike, what happened 34 years ago.
Yes.
Man, did you know that Big John Studd defeated Hulk Hogan once again in Madison Square Garden?
By countout.
By countout. Now, he didn't pin him, obviously. Didn't win the belt,
but
obviously.
Still,
he beat Hogan. And if I'm not mistaken, that was in MSG as well. I'm not 100%, but I think that was in the Garden.
Yeah.
Wow, man. And it was that's unheard of.
Oh, see, that came about through, it was actually supposed to be Jesse Ventura.
Right, correct.
But he had the blood clots in his lungs, and that ultimately put him out of, retired him from wrestling.
Right.
This
is also Bobby Heenan's first time managing John Studd.
Yes.
You know, and I cannot wait till we do the episode on Bobby Heenan versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
That one's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And this could actually be, you know, maybe not necessarily the seed, But this had to be there toward the beginning of that.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This may have been to see. We got to go back and maybe look into that a little bit further. But that's crazy, man.
Yeah, because
You know,
it's 84. Hogan's, still
running
fresh in.
hot, man.
Still fresh in.
White hot.
Yeah.
And John Studd beats him.
Yeah.
That to me is crazy because I didn't even know
'Cause
that.
was, yeah.
And I mean, it just makes you wonder what was going on behind the scenes with that.
Right.
Because Hogan getting beat, why? In Madison Square Garden,
Uh-huh.
what? Even by countout.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But that happened, and that's history.
Yeah.
And that happened on this day.
Absolutely. I always loved John Studd.
I like John Studd.
I always
I did
did.
too. I like the name. I just thought the name was cool as
Yeah.
shit. And just his whole presentation was just cool as shit. And he was a legit threat
Yeah.
to Hogan.
Yeah.
Him and when him and Bundy were together,
Man.
that was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Maybe possibly one of the most devastating tag teams.
For sure.
For sure. I mean, you're talking just two giants.
Yeah.
And the only person that could really maybe give you the illusion or the idea that they could beat Andre the Giant was John Studd.
Yeah. Yep.
Something else that happened, man. Mark Henry actually debuted on this date.
Is that right?
Yes, there's actually another debut that happened, but this one happened a couple years before, the big one. But Mark Henry. I've always been a fan of Mark Henry. Just like we've talked, man. I've always been a fan of the real athlete types, the strong types. The ones who are legit. That come into wrestling. I've always been a fan of that, like Kurt Angle, for instance, Brock, obviously, and Mark Henry being the world's strongest man, legitimately being, a champion of these strong, not strong man contests, but weightlifting competitions, powerlifting, things like that. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of his.
Yeah.
I thought he was great in the Nation. I thought he was great solo.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's legit,
So,
man.
what about sexual chocolates?
Sexual chocolate was off the chain.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest gimmicks, man. Him and that Mae Young stuff.
Oh.
Whoa! Let's take a moment to give them a hand for that. Thank you. Come
That was
on,
nice.
you like that?
That was
Did you
nice.
get that? All
That
right,
was
got it.
good.
All right, thank you,
That was
thank you.
nice.
I'm here all day. But yeah, man. I
It's
mean,
just going back to the ridiculous stuff that we saw in Attitude Era.
Mae Young. For those of you who are listening, may not get the joke. Sexual chocolate Mark Henry and Mae Young, who was probably 80s at the time, I would say 70s, at least 70s.
I would say, yeah, probably
Ma-
late 60s, early 70s.
You think it was that? I was always thinking. Well, then again, she's an old pro wrestler, so she's probably 40.
Beat the hell up.
It just beat the fuck up.
Yeah.
But they had an angle where they were having a relationship, and Mae Young gets pregnant and has a hand, an actual hand, just a hand. I remember us watching that live as it was happening. At somebody's apartment. I remember. I can't remember whose apartment it was. Somewhere in Charlotte or something. Just having a little pay-per-view party.
Right.
And we were all like, what?
Right.
What the fuck is
I think
this?
the funniest thing for me in that is just watching Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson trying to deliver.
Yeah, when they're starting to throw up and everything. Oh, that was hilarious. Hey, man, we got to give those guys, the Stooges, we got to give them so much props. And, obviously a lot of people, just think that Pat or Jerry, it was Jerry.
Yeah.
They thought they were just the Stooges, but, those guys have a hell of a history.
Man.
They're very,
They were
very
so
important.
good at what they did.
They knew it, man. They
Yeah.
got it,
Yeah.
and they worked it to the full extreme, man. Once again, man, just some absolutely entertaining stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, see, that was 22 years ago.
Right.
At the In Your House
Mind games.
pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was mind games.
Mind games. We know we talked about Mark Henry, and he was just straight out of the Summer Olympics in Atlanta that year in what 96?
96, if I'm not mistaken.
95.
Yeah, it'd be 95. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got you.
Let's see, who else was on that show? Let's see. Savio Vega defeated Marty Jannetty. Do you remember Savio Vega a lot?
Yeah, I
Really?
remember Savio. Yeah, yeah.
I remember him very little.
I remember him mostly from this feud with Stone Cold. And then the
God, I barely remember that.
Yeah, because that was when Ted DiBiase was still, and actually Savio, if I'm not mistaken, beating Stone Cold is why Stone Cold got rid of Ted, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I'd have to go back, but I do remember him, and I also remember he was in Los Barricos. Am I saying that correctly? It was basically.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
That's when everybody
Okay.
started forming their own factions.
Right.
That's when everybody had a faction.
Yeah.
Because he was originally, I believe, in the Nation, if I'm not mistaken. And then when they split up and went to an all-black group, then Crush and Savio formed the Disciples of Apocalypse, Crush's team, and then Savio's Los Boricuas. I know I'm saying that correctly.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, man, memory may be playing tricks, but I
Okay.
think that was how that worked out.
All right.
But yeah, well, I mean, he wasn't anything to really write home
Yeah.
about, man. I thought he was a good, decent worker, you know, but...
Apparently, he was good enough to have 2 matches back
Yeah,
to back.
I mean, you know, Jesus, man,
He was-
Savio...
He defeated not only Marty Jannetty, but he defeated Justin Bradshaw,
Yeah, or the
JBL.
Yeah, Justin Hawk Bradshaw at this
Yep.
point,
Yep.
who would go on to become JBL, right?
Yeah. In a Caribbean strap match.
Yes, and you know, I was always a fan of Justin Hawk Bradshaw. I was always a fan of Bradshaw until I started hearing about some of his backstage.
Yeah.
You know, that really does hurt
Right.
your outlook on
Yeah.
a performer. It's like, man, I love the Hawk. I thought the
Yeah.
Hawk was awesome.
Yeah.
I love the APA. Him and Farouk, or Ron Simmons. I love the JBL character.
JBL character was
His
by
best,
far
his
my
best.
favorite.
Oh, without a doubt,
sure.
man. When he had the belt,
Oh.
and he was doing that J.R. Ewing thing, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, now you know, I was being politically correct a little earlier. Now
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be a little politically incorrect.
Okay.
And I hate to say this, man, but one of the most, I don't know, I guess entertaining, funny type angles was when JBL went down to the Mexican border
Oh, yeah.
and was throwing immigrants back across the border. Now look, man, I'm not getting into my politics on this or
Nope.
that. I'm just saying for what that was
For what it was.
and for what they were trying to do
Yeah.
was good television.
It may have been some cheap heat.
It was. Hell, man, cheap heat works.
Right.
I mean,
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't.
you're right.
But no, I thought it was great. And I thought it was great that they would paint him in that light of just that.
Asshole, really.
Yeah,
I mean, let's just call
right,
it,
yeah.
which is what
Yeah.
he really is. The JBL was really,
And this is pre-Trump.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
yes. But at this point, JBL had already kind of, in other areas, you know,
Right.
started showing that he is a really conservative guy. I mean, he's on Fox News. He was a contributor for a while. Once again, not getting into the politics out of everything,
Right.
but I think they used his real life, you know, personality or politics,
Yeah.
and just amped it up, which is the best stuff.
Yeah.
When you do that in wrestling, man, that's
Right.
the best stuff. You take who that person is, turn it up to 100, let them loose with it,
Right.
and then you build characters, and you build stories, and you build people who give a shit.
Until they goose step in Germany.
And then, you know, they got to be taken down a little bit, or apparently try to, you know, sexually assault, you know, the fucking rookies in the shower.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I mean, what
yeah.
the fuck, man? I mean,
It's
Jesus
one of
Christ.
those things.
Fuck that
You heard
guy.
story.
I mean,
You
really,
heard stories about that going on for
yeah,
decades
for decades.
before.
But still, man.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
But whatever. Let's keep on.
Well,
jamming
that's just
here,
first
brother.
match.
Yeah.
Second match, Jose Lothario defeats Jim Cornette. How do you think this match went?
I didn't watch this show.
Uh-huh.
I watched it, of course, back in the day. I don't really remember it.
Right.
I didn't watch it for my research.
Mhm.
I'm sure it was a stink fest.
Oh,
I mean, how can it not be?
oh, I know.
I mean, how did Jim
It's
Cornette?
it's your comedy.
I mean, how did Jim
it's your comedy
Cornette
style.
even
Oh, yeah.
get talked into?
Yeah.
Because you know, Cornette would be like, "Come
Yeah.
on,
Of course, Jose Lothario was probably like 100 by this point.
120."
Yeah. So,
But I remember a little bit of the storyline going into it, and the storyline was pretty good.
yeah.
But the in-ring stuff,
Oh, yeah.
what I
Yeah,
recall.
this is your comedy match.
Yeah, right. Popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, popcorn match.
But the next match,
Good stuff.
Owen Hart and British Bulldog defeat the Smoking Guns of Bart and Billy Gunn.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure they're really related too, man. I mean, that's their actual real names. They're brothers. The Gunn
Is
brothers.
that right?
No.
No. Okay. All right. To win the WWF Tag Team
Yes, right.
titles. Was there anybody better than Owen and Bulldog at that time?
At this time, I don't think so.
No.
In fact, I would even go further and say, you know, they can be in that top echelon probably across the board, man. These guys were I mean, look who we're talking about.
I know.
I mean, both these guys, single, tag team, both of them were experts on both.
Yeah.
And I mean, just
You had.
God rest their souls,
Oh
both
my
of them.
God!
Man, you know.
You just had so much good stuff out of Owen and
And
Bulldog.
Bulldog.
I think.
Man, I
you
love
know,
the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I love those
I
guys.
think Owen was pulling a lot of good stuff out of Bulldog
Yes.
at this time too.
And you know, Owen, man, was at this point too. He was just coming up so fast and hard, man. It was just so, yeah. I mean, it's just a tragedy, you know, that both those guys unfortunately have left us. You know.
So we go on to Mark Henry.
Yeah, Mark
and
Henry's debut.
His debut, he defeats Jerry the King Lawler.
Right. Once again, I don't remember the match. I would assume, if you're going to get a rookie in there, it's probably best to put him in there with the King.
At this time,
The King was slowing down.
Lawler's comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
He's definitely
the
on
whole
their
time.
personality. Right. But, I mean, still, man, given his experience, probably a pretty good guy to work your first match or your first major match with,
Next up, The Undertaker defeats Goldust in a curtain call match.
Once again.
Hey,
Two great guys.
Goldust, this is really just... You gotta love Goldust.
Got to.
Everything that he was doing at that time. And, we didn't even go into this last week when we were talking about Joey Ryan again.
Oh, it's sort of those gimmicks.
The stuff Goldust was doing at that time was...
Pushing it, boy.
Whoa.
Going over the edge,
Whoa,
man.
whoa.
It was definitely attention getting.
Yeah.
For sure. It was so bad, the way I understand it, once again, just from hearing shoot interviews, Scott Hall would not work.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He was too, I guess, homophobic or whatever. I don't know. But apparently he just would not do it.
Right.
That was how. But God almighty, man,
Man.
went balls out. Literally, I mean, no pun intended, but he went balls out with his gimmick.
That's the only thing he didn't pull out.
And if he could have, just like we discussed last week, if Vince had that go ahead, man, don't think for one minute the Goldust wouldn't be teabagging.
He did that full S&M outfit one time, and that was just like, whoa, that is.
Well, he came out in a diaper, that whole kind of fetish type stuff, man. And then he has Marlena, who was to do Terry Runnels, man, as always. I remember when she was Alexander York in WCW. I mean, man, she was like the absolute.
Have the mercy.
Jesus, man. Okay, let's keep going. Mercy. You know me, man. I don't want a hard dick all day. So let's keep on jamming here, brother.
Okay, so in our main event, Shawn Michaels defeated Mankind by disqualification and retained the WWF title.
Once again, didn't watch the match, man. Not since it happened. I'm assuming
I'm just a big fan of both.
Me too.
When Shawn wasn't throwing his fits
and losing
his tantrums. I didn't even mind losing his smile, but it would. This is a time when Shawn was kind of throwing tantrums.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
During matches.
During matches, man. Yeah. That's where I think you should draw the line. You always keep the matches professional, just like you did with Hogan.
All right.
In the SummerSlam match, it's like, come on, man. Now, do not misunderstand me. I love Shawn Michaels. I've always been a fan. But you know what, Mike? I'm thinking, bro. Before we get into our next section, we might want to go ahead and take a break right here.
All right.
Because we're about to really start ramping this thing up.
Yes.
So you guys stay tuned. We're going to have a little commercial break here, and we'll be right back. What's up, Puds? This is Jason from the PUDcast with Jason and Mike, and I want to take this opportunity to talk to y'all about GameSwap, located at 112 Northeast Court Square, right here in beautiful downtown Lincoln, North Carolina. Whether you're looking for the best new games and consoles, or you're more of a retro guy like me, GameSwap has you covered. People, I'm talking everything from Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Xbox. Hey, there's even systems I've never even heard of before. So if you're a hobbyist, a hardcore gamer, or a collector, GameSwap is the only place to go. And maybe video games isn't your thing. Well, that's cool too, because GameSwap is much more than just a game store. They also carry a vast selection of comic books, toys, t-shirts, and all sorts of collectibles spanning all aspects of pop culture, from science fiction, action, adventure, TV, horror, and all points in between. You really just have to see it to believe it. So what are you waiting for? Get on down here to GameSwap and see it for yourself, and tell them that the Pud sent you. Welcome back to the PUDcast. Hey, man, only thing I'm going to say about that commercial, dig that bass line, bro.
Man, that's pro. I'll say it again, that is pro.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, I'm happy with it. Like I said, that bass line, you know me as a bass player. I play the guitar on it too. I ain't going to try to brag or nothing, but, I might as well go ahead and toot my own horn like Arn would do,
Absolutely.
But that bass line, man, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what. If you're interested in doing an advertisement with the show, just get in touch with us.
Let us know.
We'll get you going.
We'll hook you up, man, and we can definitely use the sponsors. Like I said, we can always use some extra mics and cables.
Absolutely.
And the more we grow and the more we can get going, man, the bigger we can grow this thing. And yeah, man, we're just looking. Sky's the limit. I know. And well, Mike, brother, we stopped off reviewing the date of September 22nd.
Yes.
And brother, what we're about to go into now, let's just put it like this, Mike. September 22nd, 1997, fell on a Monday.
Yes, it did.
During the height of the Monday Night War.
Well, I wouldn't say the
You wouldn't say
height
height?
yet.
You wouldn't
no,
really?
It's building.
It's definitely on the up, man.
It's definitely on the up. It's building up.
Yeah, it is definitely, man. Full steam ahead.
Right.
You know, you're right, Mike, because really in some ways tonight is really when it amped up.
Yeah.
You know, I want to recant that statement. You're right, man, because what we're about to talk about, not only one, but two huge things happen.
Right.
You know, Mike, let's talk about the TNT show first,
Okay.
if you would.
All right.
Now, let's put a little, let's talk about the night first. It was Nitro, you know, WCW. Mike, over the week, you know, doing my research, quote unquote, I watched both the Nitro and the Raw from September 22nd. I want to say first and foremost, Jesus, man, both these shows were great. Both of these shows were really, really great. I watched both these shows in their entirety over this week.
Okay.
And I'm just like, God damn it. I can't even get one good fucking show now. And here, back in the day, I'm getting two, but I'm getting them at the same time, so we're having to flip channels. But like I said, you know, the first one we're going to talk about is Nitro.
Okay.
And Mike,
It was on TNT.
It was TNT. Yes, sir. Now, Mike, do you remember this Nitro?
I do.
Do you remember where you were?
I do.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Because there's something that happens in this Nitro, and we'll get to it. It's the big deal. It's the big deal of this Nitro that me and Chris Schrontz missed. Do you remember that? Because we were outside smoking a joint, and we missed something really, really important. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. That's a little later in the show.
I could, and this is what?
97.
21 years ago?
Let's see
You
here.
believe that?
Yes, sir. 21. So if somebody was born, if they were born at this time, I mean, when this show was going on live, if they were born at that moment, they could have a beer today legally.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make me feel old.
That would be my oldest niece.
Yes, sir.
Melissa.
Yeah, there you go.
She's 21. She was born in 97.
97. Yes,
and,
sir.
Yeah, that's amazing to think about. It's mind blowing to think about because I can remember, you know, being at your house.
Yes.
And remember where we sat in that living room.
Yes.
You know, Chris Schrontz would sit on the long couch.
Yes.
You would always have the recliner.
Yeah, Dad's chair. I got the captain chair when he went to bed.
And I had the short couch.
Yes. And we had our spot, and that was every Monday. That was the three of us. Every Monday. We'd usually get a case, you know, or at least a 12-pack. You know, you would stay in when me and Schrontz would go out.
Right.
You know, as we were talking about earlier, you know. And that was our Monday nights. And we would switch. We would flip channels. But we were mostly a Nitro crowd.
Right.
You know, we were Nitro loyal because we were NWA Crockett loyalists.
Right. And Flair was there.
Flair was, and Hogan was there.
Yep.
You know, me being the big Hogan mark, you of course being the Ric Flair mark. You know, of course we were marks for all of them. You know, obviously, and that was just our thing. And WWF at the time, man, had just started to ramp it up. You still had Shawn and Brett, man, who put on clinics, you know.
Taker.
Obviously, man. You know, Goldust, as we just talked, you know, Mankind, Mick Foley, you know, and all his faces. But this particular show, Mike, once again, you know, after watching it, I was just like, damn, this was a damn good Nitro.
Well, you say that. I have a different feeling about it. I thought for the most part it was a good Nitro. But for the most part, I felt like it was the Luchador show.
There's a lot of that. there was a lot of that. But you know, Mike, at that time it was still so new.
It was so new, so hot.
It was hot.
But it was like every other match was a luchador match.
It really was. I mean, it was all cruisers and luchadors. And it really was, man. But all in all, this particular show to me was, I almost think it was better than the Raw, honestly, putting them side by side.
Okay, well, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, let's look, man. Well, the first match was Rey Mysterio Jr. He still had the Jr. at this time. And
we're not going into dark matches.
Oh, we can.
Let's do it. Let's knock those dark matches out. Give those guys some.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, we didn't get to watch these, you know, being dark. Yeah. You know, well, let's talk about Bruiser. Well, how do you say it?
Mastino,
yes, defeated Damien.
I remember Damien. I don't remember Bruiser Mastino.
Only Damien I remember used to be in Jake Roberts' bag. Man. I don't remember Damien, brother.
Well, see, Damien. I don't know if you remember him as Damien. I think in AAA he was not referred to as Damien 666. He would do the face makeup and he had long black hair. It was kind of a stockier build.
I don't know.
He looked like a Hispanic King Diamond.
Really? Well, damn, that sounds cool as shit. Fuck, I hate I missed it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you had me a King Diamond.
Well, there you go. All right, so the next one.
Melissa.
I know you remember El Dandy.
Oh, of course, I do remember El Dandy. Yes. El Taxi. I can't pronounce these names, brother. I'm just gonna not even try. Texano, El Texano,
Texiano,
and the Aztec Warrior. I got that one.
Right. I don't remember the Aztec Warrior.
I do not, man. But they defeated
Oro Jr.
Pantera. I didn't know Pantera wrestled.
Pantera wrestled.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Cowboys from Hell, motherfucker. And Super Astro.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with regular Astro. Nah, motherfucker. This is Super
Or
Astro.
just casual Astro.
No. Fuck that shit. This is Nitro,
Yeah.
man. This is Super Astro.
Super Astro. Super Astro.
So then finally we get, here's two obvious lucha
Well, see,
matches.
exactly. You're dark matching out lucha matches already.
Which brings us to our first televised match of Rey Mysterio Jr., who defeated the Silver King. Good match.
He's the brother of the Gold King.
His wife is the Silver Queen.
Yeah.
They have a Silver Prince.
You know, it's the Gold King.
Gold
It's
King.
just right down the road. You know?
He's on Raw.
Got silver?
King.
Bring it in.
Yeah, man. It's like, motherfucker, you can't go for gold. Come on, man. Think higher.
Yeah.
You can fly a little higher to the sun, bro. But,
Well, you got Walmart, then you got Family Dollar.
Yeah,
Silver King is.
it's Family Dollar.
Yeah, there
we'll
you
bump them up. Yeah, maybe Dollar Tree. Maybe.
Hey.
Good match.
Right.
Man. It was a very exciing. Once again, Rey
Mysterio. I mean, at that time,
peak. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if he had actually hit his prime, but bro, he was on the way, and I mean, he was jamming, man. I mean, it was a good, exciting, fast-paced match.
Yeah.
The next match.
Wow.
This is with me and Chris Schrontz. Okay, first of all, let's
Smoke
set it up.
break.
Yeah, let's set it up. Out next, Hugh Morris. All right, man, we're gonna go burn one.
Right. Because you guys weren't big on the Hugh Morris.
I never was, man. I'm still not.
I still think I liked him. I liked Hugh Morris.
was
Maybe it's
indifferent.
just a little over the top with the gimmick, but I
Humorous.
thought he was like a big guy that could do
And he
like,
could work.
big stuff.
I mean, he did the moonsault, no
Yeah.
laughing matter.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
he could work, man.
Yeah.
I was just not really.
Right.
It wasn't that I liked him or disliked him. I was just kind of.
He was in the Dungeon of
He was in
Doom.
the Dungeon of Doom, man. There it is. But who was his opponent?
Well,
making their debut.
making their debut out of the Atlanta Falcons
Yes.
would be one Bill Goldberg.
Who?
Bill Goldberg.
Now let's put some perspective on this match and also talk about why me and Chauncey decided to go outside and burn one. Bill's in the ring.
Right.
When Hugh Morris is coming out, man, Bill is a enhancement guy. He is already set up to be the enhancement worker. So we're like, okay, well, we're gonna go
Yeah,
burn one.
there
You
you
know,
go.
Mikey not partaking at the time, so I'm gonna say and watch the match. You know, being a Hugh Morris sort of fan, I guess,
Yeah.
you know. Well, brother, when me and Chauncey walked back in, Mike Payne is like, y'all missed some shit. I was like, what? And you want to tell him?
This, I mean, it was just wow.
Right.
On his debut, and I remember it just being like it was a good match for what it was.
Sure.
But
right.
it wound up just being Goldberg just totally running over.
Yeah. Just put.
Out of
It
nowhere.
wasn't maybe not necessarily a squash, but man,
No.
it was damn close to one though.
Yeah, and
He kicked out of the No Laughing Matter.
right,
You know?
yeah, and then he did the spear,
Right.
and then the jackhammer,
The
which
jackhammer.
was new.
And that's what I remember about your reaction. When we walked back in, you're like, this guy just picked this dude up in a suplex, just slams him down. I've never seen anything like this shit. Me and Charles were like, oh, fuck, man. Why do we? And then obviously they showed it again.
Right.
You know, thank
Yeah.
God, man.
Yeah.
And because, dude, when I walked in and I saw your facial, to this day,
Yeah.
back in 1997, I remember this shit. 21 years ago, I remember your look.
Yeah.
And the way you're talking, because I know, man, that you are a student of this shit. You know this shit. And even back then, you knew this shit. And the look on your face.
It was incredible.
I was like, fuck, I missed history.
Yeah.
I knew I did. And obviously, I was glad, I got to go back and see it later on that evening. But, man, that was, once again, as we were talking about how this Monday Night War is really starting to ramp up. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. Right
there
here.
you go.
Here it is.
It's the beginning of the driving force.
The big push.
Yeah.
And some would even argue, Goldberg being mishandled later on would be the demise. And I tend to kind of agree with that, man. Now, and once again, man, historic.
Yes.
History, professional wrestling history was made right then and there. But low in the card, obviously, because, nobody knows missing the debut. It's just a humorous match, it's a popcorn match. I mean, honestly, for the most part. But now the next match following this, believe it or not, was a solid match.
It was.
It was a solid match.
It was. And as much as I've never been a big fan of either of these guys.
No, well, one I was, one not so much. You could probably figure out who's who. But with the match itself for the WCW World Television Championship, or as I like to call the original MWF Championship, was Disco Inferno defeated Alex Wright, who I did like.
You liked Alex Wright.
I liked Alex Wright's gimmick at the time. I liked the kind of rave German.
Dust Wonderkin.
I thought that was I liked when he went heel. And he would wear the leather jacket and did a little dance when he come out, just because it was so it was such a fuck you. And I thought it just got so much heat that I was a fan. But man, these guys can wrestle. Alex Wright could wrestle, man.
Oh, for sure.
This was goddamn good match, bro.
Yeah.
And it was also an upset.
I never liked Inferno.
I thought the gimmick was cheese as shit.
Just hokey, man. So hokey.
It seemed like they were trying to shoot for a WWF gimmick.
Exactly what it was. Because he wasn't a wrestler. He was something else. He was a disco dancer.
Yeah.
And but he was a solid worker.
Right.
And this was, like I said,
I don't know
good match.
And I don't even know if they had the Cruiserweight title at this moment.
I don't think they did.
Not yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it would have been something better for Alex Wright than the TV title.
But
because I always held the TV title a little higher than anything else.
Me too, but unfortunately, we're probably the only two that did.
Right.
Even especially with the bookers at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, man, they threw it in the trash.
It's a TV.
They threw it in the trash.
It's a TV title.
And they threw it in the freaking trash. Man, that belt just never. I mean, really. When I think the TV title, modern, Monday Night War era was the Prince Ikea stuff.
Really?
I like that, man. I like that underdog holding that. To me, that was the first time that belt really had any drama behind it in quite a while. I'll say that much. We'll get into that kind of stuff a little bit later on. We ought to do a podcast on the TV title.
TV title.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's write that shit down.
Yeah.
They're writing it down right
there. You go.
All right, man. Cool. Hey, we're coming up with ideas for the podcast.
There you go.
But good match, man. Good, and it was considered an upset. It was definitely considered an upset because Disco won.
I was very upset.
Oh hell yeah!
I didn't like this one further.
It's like I didn't come in on somebody else.
Yeah.
And speaking of, not to spoil anything, we'll go ahead and move into the next match here. Hector Garza versus Scott Hall.
Another what?
Versus
Another
Scott,
lucha guy?
but against Scott Hall.
Against Scott Hall, yeah, that was definitely
kind of a mixed match of styles.
How you think this match is gonna go?
But you know what? It was not bad. And
guess what?
Hector Garza defeated and beat him clean. He pins him in the ring 1, 2, 3. Shay Allah 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Right.
WWF.
Yeah.
One thing you gotta say about Scott Hall, bro, he was never concerned with the wins or losses.
Why does this happen?
I don't know. I mean, really, at the end of it, they just beat the shit out of him and, put him in the razor's edge and everything else. But it never really built, man.
No.
They never really did anything with Hector Garza. And Hector Garza was a pretty damn good worker, man. He really was. He was solid. But it was
it Hector Garza that did the corkscrew?
Yes.
Yes,
yes,
sir.
Yes. That was badass, man.
I remember seeing that.
That was badass.
every time he did that, that was wow. For that time, that era, that was new.
That was
fresh,
innovative.
That was wow.
That was definitely
Yeah.
a wild moment, man.
Yeah.
And it was a wild moment when he beat him, dude. That crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
When he beat him. Solid match. It was an NWO spot, so they obviously got over and he kept his heat. He lost the match but kept his heat. It was solid angle, but
Right.
But they just, like you said, Mike, they just kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect for Hector to start coming up. Because he could have, man. I mean, he had the talent and the ability to come up. But,
Yeah.
But anyway, well, what do we have here, Mike?
What we got next?
So we have my man Syncope in the house. Dude, I remember that. I forgot about Syncope until I was watching it over this week, and I remember being such a mark for that motherfucker, man. And I don't know why, and I still am, and I still don't know why. He came out, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Syncope. I was like, hell yeah. Put him down, Syncope, and man, and that motherfucker did it.
Yeah.
And it was okay. Well, let me.
All right.
I'm
Who
marking out on
else?
Syncope.
Who else was with him?
Who cares?
Yeah, oh my
Syncope.
God.
Dude, Syncope,
No,
Lasertron, and then everybody
oh,
else.
Shit. Here we go.
I did, man. I ain't done it in a while. But we got
Now
Syncope.
this is an 8-man tag match.
Right. And well, first of all, Syncope actually translates to Cyclops. He had a mask with one eye.
Uh-huh.
It was cool as shit, man. It was cool as fucking shit, dude. Syncope was always and always will be in the house.
But
Syncope.
now wait a second. He's got a mask with one eye on it.
Right.
But he's got 2 eye holes. That he
I
can
never
look
really
out.
saw that, man.
Shouldn't he be?
Triclope.
I think it's a failed gimmick from the beginning.
No, man, I think it was a gimmick.
If he
that
had
just-
one eye hole, he could see both eyes.
Well, we're not sure those were holes, man.
Oh, jeez.
I'm pretty
It
sure.
was there.
No, I didn't see it. The only thing I could see was that one big eye. And the cool thing about the one big eye, man, is you can see all the way around. It's really better for your perception. So look, man, I ain't going to have you dissing Syncope. Just, Lasertron, man, I can tolerate. But Syncope, nah,
yeah.
nah.
I think it's failed.
I don't know, man. Syncope.
Cover up those other 2 eye holes and you'll have something.
I never
but-
saw him, man. I never saw him. I even paused the tape and looked and zoomed in and didn't see him. But who was his partner? So Mike. Juventud.
Juventud Guerrera.
It was awesome. I
It
liked
was great.
I liked Juventud, man.
Liz Mark Jr.
Not to be confused with Liz Marcini.
Hey, I don't remember either.
I kind of, even watching the video this week.
What is
I'm like,
Liz Mark?
It's short for Elizabeth Mark
Oh, okay.
Jr.
Well, I thought it would just be a mark for lizards.
Well, you got part of it, right?
There you go.
Hey, he's a mark for Syncope. Syncope was in the house, brother. Okay, all right. And the Ultimo Dragon,
Ultimo Dragon was
who
huge.
was the shit, man.
Yeah.
He was the shit.
Huge
dude.
at
He
that
was the
time.
shit. Yes.
But I'm about to mark out on the other side.
oh, there's
of
some
this.
over here too. Oh, the whole
La Parca.
La Parca was in the house.
La Parca.
Parca was the shit.
absolutely.
I love La Parca, man.
No,
That little
La
dance he would
Parca,
do.
La Parca
Oh.
was the king of everything.
Yes, except for Syncope.
No.
Definitely
You asked
Pierce.
me.
I'll say the
No,
Pierce.
not even.
We're
La
going to go
Parca
off.
saw so much more.
La Parca was off the hook.
Yeah.
La Parca was off the
Yeah.
hook, bro. I was used to call him Skeletor a little bit, you
Right.
know. No, I loved him, man. Who else? Oh,
Psychosis.
Psychosis was the shit.
Right.
All those guys were awesome, man.
Yeah. I mean, they had their own personalities.
They did, but these
Yeah.
next two, bro.
Oh my God.
Bro, go ahead, man. I'll let you.
Villano 4
And 5.
and Villano 5.
Now the first 3 we don't know.
I don't know what
We
the hell
never
happened.
never found the first 3.
Nope.
Man.
And once you get to 4 and 5,
At that point, man,
Yeah.
you kind of gotta just chill with it. Yeah, you know. But
I mean, shit. If you're talking like in the history of everything, 4 and 5 usually, A New Hope, Star Wars,
4.
Episode 4.
greatest movie of all time was
And-
5.
Yeah.
You know,
Empire Strikes Back. So, shit's going to go down.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You
can't
gotta watch
you
out
can't
for
go up.
Villano 5.
Because that was the man.
Yeah.
Now, dude, I love all these guys other than maybe Liz Mark Jr. Seriously, honest to God, man.
Solid.
Solid, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a good match, man. Once again,
Right.
it was that lucha style.
Yeah. It was a dance.
It was a dance. It was
Yeah.
choreographed like all the hell. But goddamn, man, just like we said last week, man, they did it
Right.
top notch. And back then, it was still new.
Yeah.
And it was still innovative. Now, it's a little played out, but
Did they need this many
you know, Mike,
luchas?
I understand the reasoning, man, because you do want that excitement. You like that full speed ahead, and this is something that WWF was not doing.
Right.
This was not on the Raw show. Nothing even near it. But overkill,
Yeah.
maybe. I mean, you could have definitely maybe taken out. Well, the Hetrogars, obviously that wasn't even a real match, truthfully speaking. But I don't know, man. I mean, really kind of looking at the card, as far as the show itself, you really only had one more that was on there, and that was the Mysterio and Silver King.
That's true.
You know?
But you dark match out, you're
True,
giving
true.
that live audience.
Oh, you're burning them out a
Yeah.
little bit. You are burning them out. Yeah, and even two of matches like that, even in the same show, it's almost like too much.
Yeah.
Once again, like we talked
Right.
about all in, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes there's a little bit too much ice and not enough cake.
Yeah.
But still, man, solid
Right.
match. This one coming up, man, was a hard hitter.
Heavy hitter.
Heavy hitter.
Holy moly.
And that is the Faces of Fear of Ming, also known as Haku,
Uh-huh.
the toughest son of a bitch ever to
Ever.
live, apparently, man. This
Yep.
guy, if anybody out there is not familiar with Ming or Haku's stories about just fights and
Yeah.
just being an overall tough guy, you really should check some of this stuff out, man. This guy pulled a dude's like teeth out
Yeah.
and bit a guy's nose off.
Huh.
Dude, he pulled a guy's teeth out with his fingers. He stuck his
Wow.
finger in somebody's mouth, hooked his fingers, and pulled his two front freaking teeth out, man. And then in another instance, he bit somebody's nose off. And that's Ming. Yeah, you don't mess with Ming. And his partner was the freaking Barbarian.
Barbarian just as equally
Yes.
as tough and badass.
I was watching a shoot interview with Barb, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm scared of Ming," and I'm like, "Jesus."
Yeah.
They said Andre was scared of Ming.
Yeah.
They said Andre was scared of two guys, Harley Race and Haku or Ming,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Man, hell, but speaking of big hosses of guys, man, who are they going against but the Steiner brothers?
Steiners.
This is
Crazy and jacked.
and just wide open, man.
Yeah.
They work 100 miles an hour. And this is obviously before Scott became Big Papa Pump, but Jesus, man,
He was still getting. He was getting that. He was getting there.
Oh, he was huge in this match, and Rick has always been just a hoss, man. And dude, you talk, like I said, you got four tough, big, no shit taking guys in
Yeah.
this match, and it was a good, solid, hard hitting match, and it had a hell of a finish, a clean,
sure.
clean victory for the Faces of Fear, and the Steiner brothers were going after the tag team belts at this time, and they were being pushed to the moon.
Yeah.
This is when Ted DiBiase was still their manager.
Right.
And they got beat clean. Ming put,
Yeah.
I believe it was Scott. I can't remember if it was Scott or Rick. But Ming gets the victory with the tongue and death grip.
Yep.
Beats them clean in the ring, 1, 2, 3. Man, one thing about this night, and I'm going to talk about it right now, that I loved was there was so many upsets. Well,
Right,
there were,
yeah, surprise
finishes. This was probably the last one. This was the last one of the card. But you talk about Hector Garza, and Scott Hall, and Disco Inferno beating Alex Wright.
Yeah.
And then this one, 21 years later, Mike, forgetting the finish, I was like, oh shit, I
Right.
marked out,
Yeah.
a little bit. I really was like, that's cool. And they were really pushing that in this show. This is the night of upsets.
Yeah.
They said that several times. But good match, man.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
solid
Yeah.
match.
Let's see. Next we got Randy Savage defeating Stevie Richards.
Believe that? Can you really believe that? Can you believe Randy Savage would beat Stevie Richards? Solid match.
Solid?
Solid. It was to push.
Now, this is Raven's flock.
Yes.
Stevie Richards.
Yes, and that was basically what this match was more than anything, was just to kind of push the Raven storyline.
Right.
There was a little bit of a stare down between Randy Savage and Raven after this match, after
Right.
Stevie's defeated. And
Never
I'm thi-
went anywhere with that.
They didn't, man, because Macho Man gets out of the ring. Raven goes over and DDT Stevie Richards. As I'm watching this, I'm like, why didn't they have Raven and Macho Man start some shit right there? That would have been big.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Raven mark.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Raven
Yeah.
was off the hook, man, and definitely underused and
Yeah,
underutilized.
for sure.
Everywhere he went, but ECW.
Yeah.
Even in WWF, the period that he was there, man, it just didn't really think. Then he got to WWF.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
pretty sure he
sure
did.
did.
But it just, once again,
After the collapse of the ECW.
right. But once again, it's like, do you remember it?
Right.
Kind of not.
Yeah. But no, I always liked this flock
I did
in
too.
WCW.
I did too.
Even with the Van Hammer.
I did too, man. I thought it was one of the better gimmicks in WCW at the time, man. They were
Well,
they would and
'cause they
then
had-
the Kidman thing.
Billy Kidman was great in
That was
that.
yes.
Who else did they have?
obviously
Scotty
Stevie,
Riggs.
Scotty Riggs with the one eye Riggs.
Nice.
You had to keep an eye out for him.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, he was the other Seco play.
Hey, the real syncope is in
Yeah.
the house. Scotty Riggs, man.
Yeah.
They should have. Why in the hell didn't they put them together in a tag team?
Man.
Talk about
Damn.
drop balls 21 years later. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. It was right here in front of us. Now, granted, Scotty or Syncope didn't see it, but we see it.
Hey. Yeah.
But once again, man, they were trying to push that angle, and it just decent match.
Right.
It was an
Yeah.
enhancement. It was
Yeah.
an enhancement
Yeah.
match. Is what it was.
Yeah.
Randy, as always, being Randy Savage, being
Yes.
the man, and entertaining, you
Yes.
know, and but you
Yeah.
know, the only reason it was that high on the card, obviously, because Randy was in the match, you know. But yeah, not bad,
Right.
not bad.
Going on next, Booker T defeats Conan and Scott Norton
But right in
by
a
disqualification in a 2-on-1 handicap
handicap
match.
match. Once again, solid. I mean, I never liked handicap matches with
No.
two legitimate guys. If you're going to do the handicap, I felt they should have been enhancement talents.
Yeah.
Because you're really burying the guys. You know, like the best case scenario, the guy wins, and now you just bury two of your other guys. And if the other two win, well, hell, you just took all the heat out.
Right.
So, you know.
No.
And I was always a big fan. Well, really, man, I'm a fan of all these guys. Except Conan, I kind of went back and forth. K-Dog is all right.
Conan was all right.
Booker
I was
T
never big on.
shit, I thought.
Booker T was incredible,
Great,
and
yeah.
he was really starting to come into his own.
Right.
His own.
Right.
Scott Norton.
See, I was a fan.
Really?
Yes, man. Once again, I like those legit tough guys, and I like those. And he was the arm wrestling champion.
Right.
So I like that legit. To me, he didn't need anything else. And brother, him with Buff Bagwell, vicious and delicious. What was your opinion? Because I love that team.
I didn't care for it.
Really?
Because I wasn't a big Buff fan.
Oh, and the Buff.
I was never a big Buff fan.
The only time I liked Buff was was that gimmick because it was Norton too. But man, I thought they complimented each other pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, Norton is serious, straight up, and you have Buff every clown, and you know, and they could work. I mean, you know, you know, I mean, they could work enough.
Yeah.
And they had enough, I guess, charisma, because even Scott Norton not having charisma was charismatic, because he didn't really have to.
But didn't that really just underline what WCW was? They weren't just good; they were good enough.
Good. You can make an argument for that. But, you know, at the same time, man, even on the WWF show, there could be a little bit of that as well. You know.
They started weeding those out.
Yeah, they did. And they also started working on the ones they didn't weed
And
out.
the ones that were just good enough, WCW seemed to
elevate them. Yeah, I'll
and
give you
keep
that.
the guys down, like Booker T.
Right. Booker T's a prime example of that.
Exactly.
He should have been in the top contention at this period.
At this time.
Because, man, he'd already proven himself with Harlem Heat over the years. And I loved Harlem Heat, too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought they were just off
Right.
the hook, man. But once again, this match, you know, the 2-on-1, but it was what it was.
Right.
Not bad. You know, not a bad match. This next one was really, I thought, was a pretty damn good match.
Right.
The main event.
Right.
It should have been main event.
And I'm not a fan of one, obviously.
Right, I know, and I'm
I love the
indifferent.
other.
Me too. One of them I'm a huge fan of. The other one I'm kind of indifferent.
Right.
I respect my I think he's a decent worker. But who we're talking about, Jeff Jarrett is the one that, you know, Mikey loves and loves to shit on.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Jarrett was okay. But his opponent was Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig, man.
Mr. Perfect.
Yes.
Without a doubt, probably the
Sure. Yeah,
truest
absolutely.
gimmick ever. You know, yes. I mean, you know, his vignettes that he would do in WWF was true.
Yeah.
They said a lot of that stuff he would get on the first try.
Yeah.
So like when he bowled the perfect game, he said, I think they did have to do a few research shoots, but man, he got really close.
Yeah.
Or maybe he did hit it. He may have actually got it, but all that stuff, man, was really him.
Right.
And they did it in mostly 1 or 2 takes.
Yeah.
He was really damn near perfect, man. He was really damn near perfect. And they were good, man. And this and this match was for the WCW United States Championship. And Kurt Hennig won. You know, he defeated Jeff Jarrett once again to retain. He was going in champion, left champion.
Okay.
Beat him clean. I mean, it was a decent match, man. Oh, no, excuse me, it wasn't decent. It was a good match.
Right.
It was a good match. And I'm gonna say, man, all in all, I thought this Nitro, all in all, was a pretty damn good Nitro. Even with its imperfections, I still really enjoyed it 21 years later. I was like, hey, man, this was good. But obviously the big take-home from this thing was Bill Goldberg's debut.
Yeah,
that was the big
sure.
one. That was what is historic on this day, that Bill Goldberg debuted for the first time ever. And obviously, man, started changing the business.
Yeah.
All right, well, brother, let's flip the channel.
Okay.
Let's turn it over to the USA Network.
USA for the Raw.
Now, we didn't watch as much of this show back in the day
Right.
as it was going on. We would catch it during the commercials for Nitro.
Yeah.
And even at this time, man, I still wasn't that big of a fan of Raw. I was obviously, I was a wrestling fan in general, but I still was really hardcore
I remember
Nitro.
going home after we would watch Raw at your house and going back to the house and watching the replays of the Raw because they did replay afterwards, which was fantastic.
That was awesome,
Yeah.
man, yes.
And I think Nitro did that too, didn't
They
they?
did. Yes, they did, yes.
They would have an hour whatever TV.
Yeah, and then they would just...
It's like, God, what, oh my gosh! Now I'm starting to remember that. What was in between? It wasn't Renegade, was it? It was.
Oh, shit.
What was that? What was their show between that?
It seems like it, man. I can't remember. Oh, I know what you're saying, though, man. Because they would come back on around like midnight or something.
Yeah.
Or 11 or something,
Yeah.
like it was later. Because they were competing with the other replay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I can't remember what show it was, man, but it was something related to wrestling, though. It had didn't it have like a wrestler in it, or... I know it wasn't Thunder in Paradise.
No, it wasn't Thunder.
It seems like there was something that... Or a star on the show was on Nitro at some point. I can't remember, man.
I can't remember either.
I have to look at that.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and check this out.
Yeah.
But now, speaking of historic moments...
This is the biggest moment, and this is the beginning of the other side's climb to the war.
Yeah, we are about to see a shot. We just had a hell of a shot over here with Goldberg, man.
Uh-huh.
We just hit a hell of a shot. They're shooting back.
Yes.
This show once again is in Madison Square Garden. It's kind of a trip how our history of today for WWF related subject matter has fallen into Madison Square Garden, because MSG, man, is a magical place.
Yes,
it truly is, man. It's historic in itself. And this show is taking place from there. And once again, man, something really big happens a little later in the show.
Uh-huh.
But let's kick it off with the opening match.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, bro.
Ahmed Johnson defeats Rocky Maivia.
Rocky Maivia. Now he is
Maivia.
he is in the Nation at this time.
Yeah.
He is in the Nation. I don't think he is dropped. He's not dropped the Maivia yet.
All right.
He's not the Rock. He may refer to himself as the Rock, but
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. But he is a heel.
Right.
And he is still going under the name Maivia. And good match, man.
Oh,
I mean,
for sure.
I was always a fan of Ahmed. I know some people thought he was great. Some people thought he sucked. I liked Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah.
And Ahmed beats Rocky clean in the ring. You can tell how old this is.
There you go.
But he beats him with the Death Valley. What was it? The Death Valley plunge, or I'm thinking Death Valley driver, but that was Louis Spicoli. I can't.
Yeah, that was
River Valley something. Anyway, it was his finisher. He did it clean.
Oh, yeah. It's
Good
like
match.
like a slam spine buster.
Yes, because he kind of sits down with him as he slammed him down. And so once again, man, solid match. I mean, really. Our next one is the Nation. Speaking of the Nation, Farouk and Kama Mustafa, also known as the Godfather and Papa Shango.
That's right.
It's the same guy. Going against one of my favorite, if not my all-time favorite tag team, the Road Warriors.
Yes.
Legion of Doom.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I think they win by disqualification.
Yes, they did. Yes, they do win by DQ. Sonny, the gorgeous Sonny, was the ring announcer for this. Let's talk about Sonny just for a minute. Jesus, man. At this time, I can't think of a more beautiful woman that was on the planet. She was good at what she did.
Yeah.
She got pro wrestling. She is the original diva for a reason.
Hey, talk about
It hurts my feelings
Oh man,
every time I think about it.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Good match.
Yeah.
Once again, man, solid match. Now we're starting to get into.
All right.
We're starting to get into it now.
Owen defeats Brian Pillman
Yes.
by DQ.
This was an awesome match.
Yeah.
These
these are
guys.
two.
Once again-
And this isn't even Pillman in his
No.
prime.
No. This is him coming up. I mean, he's rolling at this
Man.
time, man. But dude, and talk about just two greats that we've lost.
Yeah.
Once again, rest in peace to Owen and to Brian Pillman. I mean,
Yeah.
These guys were so great. And this was also during the time where Brian Pillman was feuding with Goldust.
Right.
Because Terry Runnels had been taken away from Goldust by Brian Pillman. And she changed her whole gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she came out pretty much hot as shit is what
Yeah.
she came out,
Yeah.
man. Because she had the whole, like, more goth thing going on. Had the nose ring, leather skirt. Oh, dude, man.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked. And that was a really good angle. Because Goldust put so much into that angle.
Yeah.
But anyway, Owen Hart does defeat Brian Pillman by another disqualification.
Right.
2 in a row, but whatever. Goldust comes out. He comes after Brian Pillman. He chases Brian Pillman around. He was trying to get Terry. They take it up, up the ramp.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on with Owen Hart at this time in the grand scheme of things, like in the grand storylines? He's got a pretty big feud with somebody. Because he hurt somebody.
Oh, right. That's right. Oh, my gosh.
And somebody is just now starting to come back from this injury.
Yes.
That somebody
Uh-huh.
is none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, sir.
Now, for a little history on this angle. Well, it's not an angle, actually.
No,
this
it's
is
just,
a legit.
this
legit happened. Owen, unfortunately, puts Stone Cold into a tombstone power driver position.
A sit-down tombstone.
Basically, he sits down on a tombstone. The tombstone is usually delivered by going down to your knees.
Right.
I'm sure anybody who's listening to this podcast knows what the difference between the two power drivers are.
Yeah.
You have the Paul Orndorff jumping,
Uh-huh.
sit-down power driver with your face facing outward,
Right.
where you could grab their thighs and you can, cushion yourself in your neck as you go down.
Yeah.
Then you have the Undertaker tombstone type, where you reversed and your head is facing your opponent.
Yeah.
And you drop to your knees. Once again, you don't even hit your head. Your opponent, the one giving the power driver's knees hit the mat, protects the other one.
Right.
Unfortunately, Owen kind of flips how you administer this move. He sets him up in the tombstone and then does a jump and sit down.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like if you remember the Steiner screwdriver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a good example. But
there's just no protection on
none.
it.
And if you watch this move in slow motion, you can see it breaks Stone Cold's neck.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold, being the tough son of a bitch he is, gets up and walks out.
Yeah.
But he has to take some time off.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this point in this show, he's back.
Yeah.
He's not wrestling. He's not competing yet. He's not been cleared to wrestle yet. So since he's not an active competitor, the WWF have to hire security for for Owen Hart to make sure that Stone Cold doesn't get to him.
Right.
Well, guess what happens after the match? Owen is cutting a great heel promo, talking about how he couldn't have done it without his brother Brett. Really, man, Owen was so good.
Oh, yeah.
Owen was just so good across the board. But he is cutting this great heel promo, just thanking his brother, just really kissing his ass. Everybody's just booing, man. They're just not hearing it. Glass breaks. Out comes Stone Cold.
Yeah.
They brawl. The police get involved.
Oh, yeah.
The police get involved. Owen gets away.
Uh-huh.
Owen does get away from everything because of the cops. Somebody decides to intervene. They've had enough, man. They don't want to see Stone Cold hurt himself.
Yeah.
They don't want to see Stone Cold not be able to compete for the fans. Yep. This person has the best of intentions.
Right.
This person owns the World Wrestling Federation.
Oh, you're not talking about Sergeant Slaughter?
No, not Sergeant Slaughter this time. I'm talking about the one and only Mr. Vince McMahon.
Oh my God, the big guy.
The Big V.
Yeah.
Not Big Daddy V.
Yeah.
But the Big V. The
Big
Big V.
Eddie Mac.
The Big V. The Big V on this one.
Yeah.
Who is still commentating at this time.
Right.
He confronts Stone Cold and tries to talk to him. Mike, I will say, man, God bless Vince McMahon too. Because he's like, we don't want to see you hurt, Stone Cold. Steve, we want you to compete. We want you here for a long time. The WWF loves you. We want to do it. Stone Cold starts coming around. You know what, Vince? I guess I can work in your system. I guess I can do it for you. And I guess you can kiss my ass. Mike, what happened next, brother?
Oh my God. Is the shot.
The shot.
I would say the shot.
The shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was fired. That was heard around the world and started. I would say the war, as it was. There were battles, but this was the shot that started the war.
To me, this was WWF's almost Gettysburg in a way.
Right.
It was like, oh, you're beating the shit out of us? Because let's face it, man,
Here
they were getting beat down. Yeah. Well, here's what we're going to do. And you know, we call it the shot heard around the world, but I call it the stunner.
Yeah.
Heard around the world. And I also call it the worst stunner in history. Jesus Christ, Vince. But hey, man, he
He's
took
just
it.
like,
Yeah.
He's not a wrestler.
Exactly.
He's not a wrestler.
Exactly. And he still took it.
Yeah.
And Mike, let me tell you, brother.
He's not bumping like he's a wrestler. He's an announcer.
He's an announcer. At
Right.
this point, that's all he is.
And owner.
But
of course.
He's really not known as the owner at this time. It's very. It's
Well, that's true.
It's
That's
known,
true. Okay.
but it's not talked about.
Right.
It's kind
Yeah.
of known, because the steroid trials happen, and he's come out, and people do know that he owns it. But he, for all intents and purposes, for the fans, he's just the announcer, commentator.
Right. This
and-
would be like Jack Tunney taking a
Yeah,
stunner.
thank you. Yes. and just speaking of, and obviously we're going to talk about this a whole lot more, but I just want to take a quick moment just to put over Vince as a commentator.
Yeah.
He does not get.
No,
he gets
for
nowhere near
No.
the credit he
Yep.
deserves for his commentating, man.
Yep.
Nobody put anything over WWF quite like Vince
No.
McMahon. It's almost like his life depended on it.
Right.
Because
Well,
it kinda
exactly.
Because it kind of did. Other than maybe JR. JR could put him over like
for
nobody,
sure.
like nobody else
For
could.
sure.
But Vince is very, very, very underrated.
I think so.
Very underrated. Probably the most underrated. Not the best, obviously. I'm just saying underrated, not giving his just due, man. Because, God,
Right.
damn, he was the shit.
Yes,
But
sir.
this stunner, when he hit,
Oh.
you see people in the crowd praying. They have their hands up in the prayer like, please do it. Please do it.
Yeah.
Mike, when he hit that stunner,
Yeah.
21 years later, watching this on the network, I still
have that feeling.
caught that energy. I still
Yeah.
got those goosebumps.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Now it's on, bro.
Nothing had ever been done
No,
like this.
No. And man, and here's the kicker though, Mike. This situation was the mid card.
Yeah.
This was the midpoint of the show.
Yeah.
And bro, I was just like, oh,
Right.
where do you go from here? And I will say, I don't know if the show could carry on from that, but they did pretty damn good.
Right.
But let's just take a moment just to revel in what happened.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Mike, this was it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
This was, like I said, it wasn't the final bomb,
No.
but it was the first one.
Yes.
It was the first one from the other side.
Yep.
This one was like, we see what you guys are doing on Nitro. You guys are ahead of the curve right now. But we also see that the people are loving this redneck son of a bitch.
Right.
And we're going to show you guys exactly what he can do, man.
Exactly.
And damn if he didn't do it.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful angle, man, that just was going to take it on into the next year.
And
And
its
all
whole
up to
life.
now.
A whole new life unto itself.
Yes, and we will do a podcast just on that, man, because
Yeah.
we got to keep on going.
Yeah.
But that's it. For today's episode, this is the peak. This is the most historic.
Yes.
And once again, guys, this went on the same night Goldberg appears.
All right.
This is going on neck to neck, man. This
Yeah.
is going on roughly around about the same time, man.
Yeah,
Now, the
for
Goldberg
sure.
thing happened a little before this,
Right.
as far as time-wise goes.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the first hour. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about two historic events happening on the same night. And God damn it, Mike, I can't even fucking watch Raw now for 5 minutes without getting bored to death.
I know.
Okay, but anyway, I digress.
I know.
So, Cactus Jack, another debut.
Yeah, well, breaking out the Cactus Jack character.
Yes.
Of course, he's always done Mankind in the WWF. But
Dude
he's
Love.
Dude Love. But he's breaking out Cactus Jack to go against Triple H in a street fight. Yeah, this is a big deal because they kind of shied away from his previous
His old, right.
his previous persona. Because it was so hardcore, and just that it wasn't PG. It wasn't
Right.
that. Yeah.
Even with the attitude, man, it was still like,
Yeah.
we're talking death matches
Yeah.
here. We're not talking about
Yeah.
just some hard hitting stuff. We're talking about ears getting ripped off and
Yes.
thumbtacks and fire.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
kind of want to distance that,
Right.
but not tonight.
Nope.
Not tonight. And this starts the Three Faces of Foley
Yeah.
gimmick.
That's true.
And Mike, what I really loved about watching this is how they did the interview with Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. They had the interview.
Morph.
Yes,
Yep.
and they had them all talking, and out comes Cactus Jack, and good match,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Triple H, but you got to give the devil his due, man. And this was a great match.
Yeah.
Great match. Him and Mick always did
For
work
sure.
great. I mean, they had a chemistry
Yeah.
because their gimmicks and styles are so different,
Different.
and they look so
Totally
different.
Yeah.
going back to what we were talking about, kind of like the Kevin Owens thing, Mick Foley has such a different body type
Right.
versus Triple H's, cut, chiseled body.
Exactly.
And you have the blue blood, the I'm better than you type character versus, Cactus Jack,
Right.
who is a character unto himself,
Yeah.
Good match, man. Obviously Cactus Jack won. You can't really build it like that and not put the man over. A solid match. Man.
Yes.
Solid match. And our main event, a non-title match. It's
Right.
a non-title, which it really wouldn't have mattered. But our champion, Bret Hart, who, once again, man, huge fan, defeated, once again, another huge fan, or I'm a fan of, is Goldust.
Yeah.
Goldust was really getting pushed pretty big at this point for good reason.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, because I think everybody was kind of getting into the Goldust character.
Yes, because he was putting it over
sure.
so good.
Oh yeah.
Dustin put that over so
to
well.
where it was past the point of okay, this is weird, this is awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually kind of
innovative.
yeah.
It's
cool.
catching my attention.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm not just seeing something for shock value. I'm seeing something I'm getting emotionally involved in
Right.
now. Right.
Yep.
Good match, man.
For sure.
He's defeated, obviously, by Brett with the sharpshooter. He taps out. But, man, I mean, it was a really, truly a great match. Now, Mike, something else pretty cool happened 18 years ago.
Yes.
Now, right here's where I'm really going to need your expertise as a historian. Someone wins the U.S. title, and I'm thinking this might have been this person's last major title. Is that correct?
For sure.
And that
I would say,
Well, yeah.
I believe it was the last major championship.
Let's see, what year was this?
Let's see, man. It was 18 years ago, so it would have been 2000. Yeah, because 2018. I am a math guy, so it'd be 2000. I think so.
I would say. Yeah.
At least major. Yeah, because he never
won.
won anything in WWE. And this was after ECW.
Yeah, it was definitely after ECW. So yeah, I would say.
Last major title.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that man is the legendary, the one and only former world champion, former ECW world champion.
Yes.
The one and only from the Double Cross Ranch.
Yep.
Which I love that name. I've always loved that name. I've always
know.
loved that. And of course, we're talking about the one and only Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
Man, on this day, he defeats Lance Storm
yes.
for the U.S. title, the WCW U.S. title, and that would go on to become Terry's, final major
Right.
title.
Yeah.
And
And he's still going.
he still does stuff, man.
Oh my god.
He will probably go in the ring, and I can't think of a better place. Terry, God bless Terry Funk.
Yeah.
And Mike, I think that's probably, as far as some of the other historic things that's happened, man, it's a little outside of my fandom, because I guess, to me, nothing really too major happened after that for me as a fan.
All right.
Terry winning that title, to me, is like, okay, well, where do we go from there? As far as the history goes.
Yeah.
Well,
You start talking about, say, like Unforgiven pay-per-view.
there was some big stuff going on there. Some of the notable matches was Chris Jericho defeating Ric Flair to retain the IC title. Obviously, Eddie Guerrero defeating Edge, great match. Triple H defeated Rob Van Dam to retain the world heavyweight championship.
Or the WCW. I mean, at this point they were calling it, but it's the big gold belt.
The big gold.
Big gold, right.
Trish Stratus.
One who is beautiful and fucking talented,
Yes.
man. Dude.
Innovative.
One of the best wrestlers of all time. Wrestlers. I'm putting
Yes.
her up there with Rick. I'm putting her up there with Dusty, man. She is, in my opinion, Trish Stratus was that good. And, man, listen, like you just said, beautiful Jesus, man.
Yeah.
I mean, God. Yeah. Anyway.
Defeated Molly Holly for the WWE Women's Championship.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
Of course, we had a classic with Chris Benoit.
Who was that again?
Chris Benoit.
Hey,
Still wrestling?
Hey, man, we can't. We don't erase history.
No.
We don't erase history.
I mean, you can't. It's
can't.
there.
No, especially with that man's
Right.
history. Unfortunate, God Almighty, man, to say the least. That's putting it very, very, very mildly, but it happened,
Yeah.
and this was a great match, man. It was. It was Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah, you really don't. Man.
No.
You really don't.
And then you had Brock Lesnar fight The Undertaker to a double DQ for the WWE title.
So you basically had 2 major titles on this, but Mike, you missed a match, bro.
I did?
Yes, sir, you did.
Which one?
Go back up just a little bit. It was
Okay.
there you go. Come back down just a little bit, man. We're talking about Billy and Chuck.
Oh shoot, I did against 3 Minute Warning.
And I like
Yeah.
3 Minute Warning.
I did too.
I was really into 3 Minute Warning.
They were awesome. They were scary.
badass. Yes, yeah, they're one of the last real true teams that got me like
Yeah.
that, to be completely honest with you. All these years later.
Well, I don't know. You should see the new guys from NXT. They're on the main roster now. Huge guys. I'm trying to remember their name. Oh wow. Authors of Pain.
I've heard of them.
Yes.
I've heard of them. I haven't seen them. I'm not
Yes.
familiar with them. Really good.
Big scary guys.
Really.
For sure.
I may need to give WWE another chance,
Yeah.
man.
Give
because-
some of it, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to do that. But these guys, and I like Billy and Chuck. I
Yes.
thought it was
I
a cool
thought it was
little
great.
angle, man.
Yeah.
One of the best angles I saw after the war ended was probably that marriage. You know what I'm talking about?
My God.
When Eric
I
Bischoff.
still watch that. I'm like, holy
That-
God, that was one of the
Awesome.
best things I've ever seen.
Ever.
Ever.
From
Yeah.
the 80s, 70s on up to
Would
modern
never
day.
have known in a lifetime that was Eric Bischoff under that.
And when he said, I forget how they would trigger it.
Did you say 3 minutes?
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
He did it in that old man voice, and it was like,
What? And
Holy-
then they hit,
holy
man.
shit.
That was off the hook, man.
and then they, did the 3 minute drop or whatever
Yeah,
they did to
yeah.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
In the whole locker room, everybody
came out, man.
heel, baby. It didn't matter. They hit and
That was good shit, bro. Good stuff,
I
man.
still pop over that.
Oh, I do too, man. Like I say, that was, in my opinion, one of the best post-war,
Yeah.
best ever, man. I mean, any era, any generation,
My
man.
God,
that was
it
one
was
of the
so good.
coolest things, man.
It was so good.
Yes, it was, man. Well, Mike, unfortunate. Well, first of all, man, is there any more that we want to go over here? Because I know we have some unfortunate things that we,
Right.
that we definitely have to discuss before we sign off today. And we actually lost some people on this day.
We did.
The first one I want to talk about is Jorge Gonzalez.
Yes.
Also known as Giant Gonzalez or Elegante.
Oh, yeah.
Elegante will never probably be given a lot of respect for his technical skill. He just won't.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm one of those guys that, talk a lot of shit, with Elegante and just how terrible all that stuff was, with and the Giant Gonzalez too.
Like when he wore the suit with
And
the
the
hair on
bodysuit.
it. Yeah.
the bodysuit with the hair.
But man,
But
you gotta
here's
give
the
some
thing.
props.
He is definitely in that history of just the monsters,
Big.
the big guy,
Yeah.
the monster, whichever it was, because he was a babyface in WCW, but
Right.
in the WWF. He was that big monster that they were feeding to the Undertaker.
Exactly, man. And for what he was in his position,
Yeah.
and when in his condition as well, that's what I don't
Right.
know if a lot of people do realize, man, that these giants, like Paul White,
Yes.
the Big Show, Andre. Obviously, Elegante, man, these guys are in poor health. I mean, the Big Show, I don't know. I think when Big Show's condition was called, he was young enough to where they could stop it, and is why he didn't go as bad as Andre and Elegante. But man, these guys suffered. I mean, they really did, and that's why when people kind of, especially Andre, obviously had never, had anybody down him or
Right,
everybody
yeah.
gives
Oh,
Andre
yeah,
his
yeah.
proper
Yeah,
respect.
for sure.
But Elegante, man, you got to remember, he was in poor health. He was, just beat the hell up.
Yeah.
But he still went out there. He still
He already
man.
came in with a bad knee.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why he didn't play
From basketball, yeah.
Right. And no, is him and Bret Hart ever going to be put in the same category? No, of course not. But you got to give him his props for who he was and using, the advantages he could use.
Right.
Even with him being a disadvantage in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the last person I want to bring up, Mike, who unfortunately passed away on this day as well, is somebody I know me and you both are big fans of this man.
Well, one of my favorite persons in wrestling.
Of all time ever.
Yeah.
And you want
No matter what he did.
no matter what gimmick, no matter what. But Mike, would you like to introduce the man? Or
That would be Ray Traylor, otherwise known as the Big Boss Man,
yes, sir.
otherwise known as Big Bubba
Big
Rogers.
Bubba Rogers.
The
Guardian Angel.
Guardian Angel.
I think the boss,
The Boss
maybe.
Man.
Yeah.
Just the boss man.
Right. And then in his later career, just Ray Traylor,
Ray Traylor.
which is all you needed.
Yeah.
Which is all you needed, man. I mean, what can you say about the boss man? I mean, what can you say? I mean, or what can you say about Bubba? I mean,
Yeah.
they first of all, in shoot interviews and things like that, everybody across the board will tell you that this guy was awesome
Yeah.
behind the scenes. You rarely see that in shoot interviews with different wrestlers talking about different people. Very few people will say that this person was just one of the best people ever across the board.
Right.
You know, you'll have one, well, he was all right. Somebody, he sucked. This guy, Ray Traylor,
No.
is across the board
Yeah.
considered to be just one of the nicest,
Yeah.
down home
Between
people.
like him and Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, there you go, man. That's another perfect example. But you know, the only time that I got to see Hulk Hogan, my hero as a kid, wrestle was against the Big Boss Man.
All right.
You know, the Big Boss Man put the cuffs on him.
Oh.
Hulk prayed to the Lord above. He got the strength from the big maniac upstairs and all those little
Right.
maniacs down here.
Yeah.
He broke the chains, man. He broke the chains that bind. He beat the Big Boss
Boom.
Man. And I come to find out, Hogan has said that Ray Traylor was one of his favorite people.
For
to
sure.
work. That's why he would bring
For
him in
sure.
and go on tour with him, because he was just so awesome to
So
work
good.
with, man.
Just bump.
bump for you,
bump
put
for
you
you.
over.
Yeah.
And he was so big, he didn't have to do that.
No.
And everything
My
he did.
my fondest memories are it's just Big Bubba.
Big Bubba, yeah.
Big Bubba.
He added
Because
so
Big
much.
Bubba was scary as hell.
He was legit, man. He didn't say anything. He didn't have to.
When Dusty broke that chair over his head.
And he just no-sold it. Oh, done. Dude, when him and Ole had their cage match,
Cage match.
you talk about two freaking bulls,
Ronnie
man.
Garvin and him,
Yes!
the street fight at
Oh.
Starcade '86.
Dude, that was amazing. And man, let's not forget that this man is a former champion,
Right.
a world champion for the UWF.
Yeah.
Man, we don't really
Oh,
bring
yeah,
that up, man.
exactly.
He was a world
Exactly.
heavyweight champion, a world recognized heavyweight wrestling champion,
Yep.
man. You know, we have to put that over because UWF was big.
Yes.
I mean, they were coming up, man. They were really that good, and he was so good that he was their champion, and he was legit.
Good.
I
Yeah.
mean, he was just so legit. But, you know, I think my favorite moment of the Boss Man Ray Traylor moment, period, is probably the cage match that him and The Undertaker had. I forget which WrestleMania, but it was one where the Brood dropped from the ceiling, and they hung
Okay.
the Boss Man.
Right.
That, I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you some other things that the Boss Man gimmick in WWE I really loved. I did like the pepper steak. I thought that was hilarious. I didn't like the match I went to see in the kennel match. Now that stunk
That
up
was
the joint.
here.
It was in Charlotte. I was
Yeah.
at that match.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
actually the last WWF match I've been to in
Yeah.
WWE.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to go to another
But
one.
no fault of their own. You know that
No,
was an
no, no.
ill-conceived match with
The match
You don't
itself.
work with two things. You don't work with kids, and you don't work with animals.
And there you go, man.
Yeah.
But the way they run that angle where Boss Man fed Al Snow his dog and he called it Pepper Steak.
Pepper steak.
Because the dog's name was Pepper.
Yeah.
And so he called it Pepper Steak, man. Or the Big Show. Do you remember when he
Holy shit.
what the hell, man? What the hell?
Yeah, that was a whole new level.
I mean, he
What?
tell him, brother. You know,
That was the
I'm
whole thing. Show. I think, honestly, I think it may have been done in bad taste.
Oh, yeah.
This whole angle with the show, saying his father had died,
Yes.
what, cancer?
it's something. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct, right.
But which was not even
It was
the
all
case
work.
at all.
It was
Yeah.
all work. Yeah, it's not really.
and he's at the funeral, and here comes
The Big Boss Man hooks a chain up to the casket, takes off.
He's
the
on
big
this speaker, right?
Yeah.
He's on this car speaker talking
Talking shit,
Talking
man,
shit.
at the funeral.
at the funeral, and he drags off
And he
his
drags-
coffin.
And the Big Show jumped on the
Oh
coffin.
no, Daddy!
Dude, it was so great. And you know what else I think that what we just discussed with the Boss Man, the hanging in the cage. Because, you know, man, he was really being pushed because with Vince's corporation. He was the enforcer.
Yeah,
He was like the bodyguard, kind of doing the Big Bubba thing. but now he's in SWAT gear.
Yeah, SWAT gear,
That
which
was
looked
bad.
really cool.
That was badass,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That was the shit.
He was original Shield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
sir,
sure.
man. And then what was the best part is he got to keep the big boss man.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
It was reinvented and it was modernized.
Yes.
And it still worked.
Yeah.
And it also goes to show how Vince can see talent,
Mm-hmm.
or at least at this time, or his team could see talent and utilize him, because man, they never did anything with Bubba like that in WCW.
No.
I mean, it was such a drop ball,
Yeah.
man. They just never could get off the ground with him. But man, he goes to WWE and does some of the coolest stuff that we're talking about right now.
Right.
And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, we just want to say God bless Ray Traylor
For sure, dude.
for everything he did.
everything.
And rest in peace, brother. And if there's a great wrestling ring up in the sky, I know he's in there, and with a lot of other great guys. But unfortunately today, of all the great stuff that happened today, that is an unfortunate. And brother, he was only 41 years old.
Only 41.
That's 2 years younger than I am.
I know.
That's a trip in itself.
Yeah.
That is. But well, Mike, man, I kind of hate to start wrapping it up on such a down note.
But I think it was a celebration.
It is.
Definitely because
Yes.
he did some great stuff.
He did
man.
some great stuff.
And it wasn't one of those tragic. It wasn't one of those tragic end.
Like what
or
could have
marred
been.
or a marred end to a great career.
Career,
man.
He
for
went
sure.
out on
Yeah.
top, and which is where he should have been.
Yeah.
And God bless Ray Traylor. Well, brother, I guess we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this bad boy up, man. Other than just bitching about drugs and everything else, I think today went pretty well, bro.
Absolutely,
I
man.
enjoyed it, man. Once again, thank you for opening up the store to let us come in here to the Pud Cave and take care of business, and obviously listen to the commercial that you heard a little earlier in the show. Get on down here to Game Swap, and the Millennium Wrestling Federation will be having a show tonight, so I guess y'all won't hear it. Once I really bust my ass today and get this thing
Exactly,
up,
yeah.
I might. Hey, man, if you hear this today on Saturday,
That is
going out there
tonight.
and see him
Yeah,
tonight.
that
Yeah,
is
I'm gonna try to
tonight.
swing by there myself at some point and see how everybody's doing. But once again, I want to just give a special shout out to those guys. Also want to give a shout out to David Hayes and Chris Barnes. Their new podcast, This Is a Work, should be coming up hopefully this week. So if you're a fan of review shows like we reviewed All In,
Right.
they're going to be reviewing the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Yes.
So really looking forward to that. Definitely give those guys a listen. And, like we were saying earlier, spread the word, guys. Let people know about us. We want to get that 100 subscribers where we can do this Pud show.
Yes.
We want to do this
All
show
the
for you
time.
guys, man. And we just need you guys to get that up, because you can't get it for free, people. Ain't no free lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to get that
know.
100 up.
And that's the thing, you got any questions, comments, if you got any critiques,
Yeah, suggestions.
send it
shoot
to
shows.
Jason Finger at PO Box.
Actually, that's Mikey Payne.
shoot it to
Let
us,
us
man.
know,
Just
man.
let us know.
Yeah, and I touched on it last week. Man, we've actually, between both of us, we've actually had a decent amount of people who want to come on.
Yes.
And do things. And man, we want to try to do it.
October, it's starting next week and through October is going to be a fun time.
We
sure.
are going to be doing some really cool stuff next
Yeah.
week. No spoilers, but next
Right.
week, man,
New level.
new level, man. Next week is all I'm going to say. Definitely want to tune in next week.
Yes.
You want to tune in every week though. Tune in
Every week.
every week.
Absolutely.
But
Every week.
help us get the word out, man. Help us get those Twitters up, man. We want 10. We want 10 Twitter followers. Come on, we can do that.
Yeah.
We want 100 YouTube subscribers. We can do that. We got 100 likes on our Facebook page. I know we can get 100
Yeah.
subscribers. And thank you guys for that. That's a milestone we hit this week, Mike. We hit that 100 on our Facebook.
Hey, man.
That's awesome, man.
That is incredible to me.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I'm like, because I got the little notifications like your page just hit 100 likes. I'm like, what?
Oh,
What the shit?
I don't know if I know 100 people.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Must be people that we don't know.
Nice.
It's like, hey, man, it's awesome. But thank you, guys. And like I said, definitely come to see Game Swap, and definitely go see the Millennium Wrestling Federation. And like Mikey said earlier, if you want to, maybe get a commercial on here, maybe get a little ad going
Please
on,
do.
talk to us. We'll work something out. I'll make the ad. We can, we ain't going to try to rob you, but, we ain't going to do it for free.
No, there you go.
But we'd appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it.
We'll get you going. We'll get you hooked up. We'll get your business on here and spotlighted.
Yes, because we have about 50 people
Yeah.
that listen to it. Hey, man, that's 50 people that
Give
you're going to reach.
Or even if you don't have a business, you want to give a shout out, anniversary,
Come on,
birthday.
Let us know. Now we ain't
Your
going to charge you for
birthday shout
that.
out, yeah.
You ain't going.
Right.
Well, man, no.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Depends
we'll see.
on how in depth you want.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
If you want to write a special song for somebody, then
Well, you better
that's gonna put some change in it.
We take plastic.
Right.
Just saying, we got a square. But once again, guys, we enjoy it. Mike, brother, thank you again. And anything you'd like to end us with?
Man, this has been an awesome one, and it's definitely therapeutic for this week.
Brother, this is therapy, man. This is absolutely therapy. And if we seemed a little harsh or a little, fuck all y'all earlier today, well, we meant every fucking word.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah, man, fuck y'all. No, guys, we love y'all, and thank you guys, seriously. And, we're just going to keep it going, brother.
That's it.
All right, man. Well, until next week, y'all puds have a good one.
And not only that, David, I understand we're right at the end of our program.
No. We have got to go.
This has been a great event.
There's some people out there that hate us for this.